Introduction to the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Hey there, ever felt like you're playing by the rules but still not getting ahead in life? Maybe you're feeling stuck in your career or your personal relationships aren't as fulfilling as you'd like. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly climb the ladder of success while others struggle, the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene might just be the guide you need. This book isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter and understanding the subtle art of influence and power dynamics. Imagine knowing exactly how to handle every social situation, how to make people respect and admire you, and how to get what you want without others even realizing what you're doing. Whether you're aiming for professional success, better relationships, or just a deeper understanding of human behavior, this book offers timeless wisdom and strategies that can help you navigate the complexities of power. The feeling of having no power over people and events is generally unbearable to us. When we feel helpless, we feel miserable. No one wants less power. Everyone wants more. However, in today's world, it is dangerous to seem too power-hungry or overt in your power moves. We have to appear fair and decent. Therefore, we need to be subtle, congenial yet cunning, democratic yet devious. This game of constant duplicity most resembles the power dynamics that existed in the scheming world of the old aristocratic court. Throughout history, a court has always formed itself around the person in power: king, queen, emperor, leader. The courtiers who filled this court were in an especially delicate position. They had to serve their masters, but if they seemed to fawn, if they curried favor too obviously, the other courtiers would notice and act against them. Attempts to win the master's favor, then, had to be subtle. And even skilled courtiers capable of such subtlety still had to protect themselves from their fellow courtiers, who were always scheming to push them aside. Meanwhile, the court was supposed to represent the height of civilization and refinement. Violent or overt power moves were frowned upon. Courtiers would work silently and secretly against any among them who used force. This was the courtier's dilemma. While appearing the very paragon of elegance, they had to outwit and thwart their own opponents in the subtlest of ways. The successful courtier learned over time to make all of his moves indirect. If he stabbed an opponent in the back, it was with a velvet glove on his hand and the sweetest of smiles on his face. Instead of using coercion or outright treachery, the perfect courtier got his way through seduction, charm, deception, and subtle strategy, always planning several moves ahead. Life in the court was a never-ending game that required constant vigilance and tactical thinking. It was civilized war. Chapter 1. Never outshine the master. Ready to dive into the first law of power? This one's a game changer. Never outshine the master. It's all about understanding and respecting the power dynamics around you. Let's break it down in a way that feels like we're chatting over coffee. What's the big idea? The gist here is simple. Make those above you feel superior. If they feel insecure or overshadowed by you, they might try to bring you down. It's all about being subtle, showing respect, and sometimes even downplaying your own abilities to let the big boss shine. Imagine you're at work and you've just nailed a big project. Naturally, you want to bask in the glory. But if you make your boss look less impressive in the process, you could be setting yourself up for trouble. Your boss might feel threatened by your awesomeness, which is not where you want to be. A blast from the past. Let's time travel to the 1600s. King Louis XIV of France had a finance minister, Nicolas Fouquet, who was pretty ambitious. Fouquet decided to throw an epic party to impress the king, showcasing his wealth and power. Bad move. The party was so over the top that it made the king feel small in comparison. Feeling overshadowed, Louis XIV had Fouquet arrested and locked up for life. Fouquet's mistake? Not understanding that he needed to let the king shine the brightest. Modern-day scenario. Fast forward to today. Picture this. You're working at a tech company and you've just developed an amazing new feature. Instead of highlighting how your boss guided and supported you, you take all the credit. Even though your work is top-notch, your boss might feel insecure about their own position. This could lead to a rocky relationship or even stall your career. How to nail this law? 1. Know the hierarchy. Figure out who holds the power where you are, your boss, team leader, etc. 2. Show respect. Always be respectful to those in power. It's not about being a doormat, but about being tactful. 3. Be subtle. When you talk about your successes, make sure to give credit to your superiors. Make them feel part of your win. 4. Check your ego. Be confident, but stay humble. Your self-assuredness can sometimes be perceived as a threat. 5. Stay humble. Own your strengths, but practice humility. This balance will earn you respect without stepping on anyone's toes. Real talk. Let's say you're presenting a new project to your team. Instead of hogging the spotlight, you could say, "This project was a team effort, and I'm grateful for the direction and support from our manager." This way, you shine, but also make your boss feel appreciated and secure. Wrapping it up. So the first law, never outshine the master, is all about being smart with how you showcase your talents. By making those above you feel good, you create a positive atmosphere and better relationships. Remember, it's not just about showing off your skills, but doing it in a way that makes everyone feel like a winner. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more to cover as we explore the art of power and influence together. Each chapter is packed with insights that can really change how you navigate the world. Let's keep this journey going. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies as cohortes. Never put too much trust in friends. It's a hard pill to swallow, but friends can be unpredictable when it comes to power dynamics. They might let you down or take advantage of your trust. On the flip side, enemies can be more reliable because you know where you stand with them. While this might sound counterintuitive, it's a powerful strategy when understood correctly. Friends are great for support and companionship, but they can sometimes become envious or complacent. For example, a friend who gets jealous of your success might not always have your best interests at heart. They might expect special treatment because of your relationship, leading to complications. Enemies, however, can be surprisingly useful. Since they're upfront about not liking you, you can predict their moves and motivations more easily. They're likely to be more cautious and respectful in dealings because they know you're wary of them. An enemy-turned-ally might try harder to prove their loyalty than a complacent friend. Michael III of the Byzantine Empire had a finance minister named Basilius, who rose from a lowly stable boy to a position of immense power by saving Michael's life. Trusting Basilius completely, Michael overlooked his friend's ambitions. Basilius eventually turned on Michael, seizing the throne for himself. Michael's mistake was placing too much trust in a friend without recognizing the potential for betrayal. Imagine you're working on a big project and you bring in a close friend to help because, well, they're your friend. But what if they slack off, thinking you'll cover for them? Or worse, what if they start taking credit for your ideas? Now, think about bringing in someone who doesn't particularly like you but respects your skills. They might work harder to impress you or prove their worth, knowing they can't afford to mess up. To navigate this law, maintain a healthy distance in professional relationships, even with friends. It's okay to keep a bit of a professional wall. Don't automatically trust friends with sensitive information or crucial tasks. Evaluate their competence and loyalty just like anyone else. Sometimes, making peace with an enemy can turn them into a valuable ally. They might be more loyal because they've had to work to earn your trust. Always keep relationships professional and objective. Personal feelings can cloud judgment and lead to complications. Suppose you're starting a new business and you need a partner. Instead of choosing your best friend, you might pick someone with the right skills and a professional distance. It might feel less comfortable at first, but in the long run, it could be a more stable and reliable partnership. The second law, never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies, is all about being strategic with your relationships. Trust is crucial, but it should be earned and not given freely based on personal feelings alone. By managing your relationships wisely, you can navigate the complexities of power more effectively. We're just getting started with these power laws. Stick around as we continue to explore more strategies and insights that can transform how you handle power and influence. This journey is just heating up. Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Conceal your intentions. It's a strategy that can give you the upper hand in almost any situation. When people know what you're up to, They can prepare defenses or even sabotage your plans. Keeping your true motives hidden forces others to guess and react on the fly, often leading them to make mistakes that work to your advantage. The idea is to keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have no clue what you're up to, they can't prepare a counterattack or defend themselves. By misleading and deceiving, you create the upper hand, guiding others' actions while they remain unaware of your true goals. A classic example comes from the world of warfare. Think about the famous Trojan horse. The Greeks, unable to breach the walls of Troy through conventional means, constructed a giant wooden horse and filled it with soldiers. They left it at the gates of Troy as a supposed gift. The Trojans, thinking the Greeks had retreated and left them a token of surrender, brought the horse inside. At night, Greek soldiers emerged from the horse and opened the gates for their comrades, leading to the fall of Troy. By concealing their true intentions, the Greeks turned the tide of the war. In modern life, the principle still applies. For instance, in business negotiations, if you reveal your bottom line too early, the other party can push you harder, knowing exactly how far you're willing to go. Instead, keep your cards close to your chest and only reveal what's necessary. This keeps the other party guessing and can often lead to a better outcome for you. To apply this law, use strategic ambiguity. Give enough information to keep others interested and engaged, but not so much that they can predict your next move. For example, if you're pitching a new project at work, you might share the benefits and potential outcomes without delving into the specific tactics you plan to use. This keeps your colleagues intrigued and supportive without revealing your entire strategy. In personal relationships, it's wise to sometimes hold back your full intentions. Suppose you're planning a big surprise for a friend. If you drop too many hints, the surprise can be spoiled. Instead, give just enough information to build anticipation without giving away the entire plan. When you conceal your intentions, you also need to be aware of the signals you're sending. Body language, tone of voice, and even the smallest actions can give away your true motives. Mastering the art of control over these elements helps maintain your secrecy. Practice being mindful of how you present yourself in various situations, ensuring that your demeanor aligns with the image you want to project. There's also value in creating a smokescreen by setting false intentions. By pretending to pursue one goal, you can distract attention from your actual aim. This tactic can be particularly effective in competitive environments where misdirection can throw your rivals off your trail. For instance, in a job search, you might express interest in a position that isn't your top choice. This can keep competitors and potential employers from discerning your true preferences, giving you more negotiating power when you finally reveal your preferred role. However, it's important to balance this strategy with ethical considerations. Deception for malicious purposes can damage trust and relationships. The goal is to protect your interests and navigate power dynamics wisely, not to harm others needlessly. Use this law with a sense of responsibility and integrity. To summarize, the third law, conceal your intentions, is about protecting your plans and keeping others in the dark about your true motives. By maintaining secrecy and using misdirection, you can navigate complex situations more effectively and secure better outcomes. Remember, it's not about being deceitful for the sake of deceit. It's about being strategic in how you reveal information. Law 4. Always say less than necessary. Always say less than necessary. It's a straightforward but powerful principle that can have a profound impact on how others perceive you and your level of influence. By speaking less, you create an aura of mystery and power, making others more attentive and eager to hear what you have to say. This law is all about control, controlling the flow of information and how much others know about your thoughts and intentions. When you say less than necessary, you avoid revealing too much about yourself and your plans. This keeps others from gaining too much insight into your strategies and leaves them guessing. Additionally, the less you say, the less likely you are to say something foolish or damaging. Think about a time when you were in a meeting or social gathering and someone dominated the conversation with endless chatter. They likely revealed too much, made themselves seem less impressive, or even bored their audience. Now think about someone who spoke sparingly, choosing their words carefully. Their silence likely made them appear more thoughtful and powerful. Louis XIV, known as the Sun King of France, mastered the art of speaking less. He was famous for his brevity, often responding to his courtiers with just a few words or a simple gesture. This created an image of a powerful and wise ruler, making people hang on to his every word. His minimal speech kept him in control, ensuring that his true thoughts and intentions were always shrouded in mystery. In the corporate world, a CEO who speaks less but says more when they do speak can command more respect and attention. Imagine a board meeting where everyone is debating a critical issue. The CEO listens quietly, absorbing all the information. When they finally speak, their words carry more weight because they have not been diluted by constant chatter. Their silence builds anticipation, making everyone pay close attention to their insights. To apply this law, think before you speak. Before responding, take a moment to consider your words carefully. Ask yourself if what you're about to say is necessary and how it will be perceived. Aim to communicate your message as succinctly as possible. Avoid unnecessary details that can dilute your main point. By focusing on listening rather than speaking, you gather more information and understand others better, which can be advantageous in any negotiation or discussion. Sometimes, saying less can make others curious about your thoughts and opinions. This can increase your perceived power and influence. In conversations, don't be afraid of pauses or silence. Often, people feel compelled to fill the silence, and you can use this to your advantage by listening to what they reveal. Suppose you're in a team meeting at work. Instead of jumping in with your opinions immediately, listen to what others are saying. When you do speak, summarize your thoughts concisely and leave room for others to respond. This approach makes your contributions more impactful and positions you as a thoughtful leader. We all know someone who loves to hear themselves talk. They might dominate conversations, but they often miss out on the respect and influence that come with speaking less. By choosing your words carefully and speaking only when you have something valuable to say, you can stand out as a powerful and wise individual. The fourth law, always say less than necessary, teaches us the value of silence and brevity. By speaking less, you can maintain control over the flow of information, create an aura of mystery, and enhance your influence. It's a simple yet powerful strategy that can transform how others perceive you and your level of authority. Law 5. So much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is everything. It's the cornerstone of power and the foundation on which you build your influence. Guard it with your life, because once it's tarnished, it can be incredibly difficult to restore. A solid reputation increases your power and makes you formidable. A bad reputation can lead to your downfall. Your reputation precedes you in every interaction. It influences how people perceive you, how they treat you, and whether they trust you. A strong reputation can open doors and create opportunities, while a damaged one can shut them just as quickly. Think of your reputation as a shield that protects you from enemies and a magnet that attracts allies. Julius Caesar understood the power of reputation. He meticulously crafted his image as a man of the people, generous and just. This reputation helped him gain the support of the Roman citizens and the loyalty of his soldiers. Even when he crossed the Rubicon, effectively declaring war on Rome, his reputation as a leader who cared for his troops and the common people helped him secure power. In today's world, your reputation is just as crucial. Think about social media influencers and public figures. Their success often hinges on their reputation. A single misstep can lead to public outrage and loss of followers. On the flip side, a well-managed reputation can lead to lucrative deals and widespread admiration. To guard your reputation, be vigilant about your actions and how they are perceived. Here are some practical steps. 1. Be consistent. Ensure that your actions align with the image you want to project. Consistency builds trust and reinforces your reputation. 2. Act with integrity. Always act with integrity and honesty. Deceitful behavior can quickly damage your reputation. 3. Address issues promptly. If a mistake happens, address it quickly and transparently. Taking responsibility can mitigate damage and even strengthen your reputation. 4. Promote your strengths. Don't be shy about highlighting your achievements and positive attributes. Let others know about your strengths and successes. 5. Avoid association with scandal. Be mindful of the company you keep and the activities you engage in. Associating with scandalous behavior can tarnish your reputation by association. Suppose you're an entrepreneur building a new brand. Your reputation will play a significant role in attracting customers, investors, and partners. By consistently delivering quality products, being transparent about your business practices, and actively engaging with your community, you build a strong, positive reputation that fosters loyalty and trust. Suppose you're an entrepreneur building a new brand. Your reputation will play a significant role in attracting customers, investors, and partners. By consistently delivering quality products, being transparent about your business practices, and actively engaging with your community, you build a strong, positive reputation that fosters loyalty and trust. Everyone knows someone whose reputation has been tarnished by a single incident. Maybe it was a public figure caught in a lie or a business leader involved in a scandal. Rebuilding a damaged reputation is a long and arduous process, often requiring significant effort and time. By guarding your reputation diligently, you avoid this pitfall and maintain the power and influence that comes with a solid, untarnished image. The fifth law, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life, emphasizes the critical role reputation plays in power dynamics. By carefully managing and protecting your reputation, you enhance your influence and ensure that you are viewed in a positive light. Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Court attention at all costs. In a world where everyone is vying for attention, standing out is crucial. If you fade into the background, you lose your influence and power. By making yourself a focal point, you become memorable and indispensable. The idea is to draw all eyes on you, make yourself a presence that cannot be ignored. Attention is a form of power. The more eyes on you, the more control you have over your environment. This can be achieved through bold actions, unique styles, or engaging stories. A historical example of this law in action is the story of P.T. Barnum, the famous showman and founder of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Barnum was a master at generating attention. He once exhibited a creature called the Fiji mermaid, a hoax that combined a monkey's head with a fish's body. Even though it was fake, the bizarre exhibit drew massive crowds and immense publicity, making Barnum a household name. He understood that being talked about, even controversially, was better than being ignored. In today's world, think about how brands use attention-grabbing marketing strategies. They create bold advertisements, sponsor high-profile events, or engage in viral social media campaigns. These efforts ensure they stay at the forefront of consumers' minds, driving sales and brand loyalty. To apply this law, you need to be bold and creative. Here are some practical steps. 1. Be unforgettable. Make a strong impression through your actions, appearance, or ideas. This could mean dressing distinctively, offering unique insights, or performing daring feats. 2. Create drama. People are drawn to drama and spectacle. Use this to your advantage by creating scenarios that capture interest and provoke discussion. 3. Use controversy wisely. Controversy can attract attention, but it must be handled carefully. Ensure that any controversy you create is controlled and ultimately reflects well on you. 4. Engage with stories. Humans are naturally drawn to stories. Craft compelling narratives around yourself or your work to keep people engaged and interested. 5. Stay relevant. Regularly update your skills and knowledge to stay relevant. Being ahead of trends keeps you in the spotlight. Suppose you're an artist trying to make a name for yourself. Instead of blending in with other artists, you might develop a distinctive style or create a series of provocative works that challenge norms. This boldness can attract media attention and public interest, setting you apart from your peers. In the workplace, imagine you're vying for a promotion. Instead of quietly doing your job, you could take on high-visibility projects, present innovative ideas in meetings, and network actively within the company. By making yourself indispensable and noticeable, you increase your chances of being promoted. Suppose you're an artist trying to make a name for yourself. Instead of blending in with other artists, you might develop a distinctive style or create a series of provocative works that challenge norms. This boldness can attract media attention and public interest, setting you apart from your peers. In the workplace, imagine you're vying for a promotion. Instead of quietly doing your job, you could take on high-visibility projects, present innovative ideas in meetings, and network actively within the company. By making yourself indispensable and noticeable, you increase your chances of being promoted. However, it's essential to balance attention-seeking with authenticity. If your efforts come off as desperate or insincere, they can backfire. The key is to draw attention in a way that feels natural and aligns with your values and goals. Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. Getting others to do the work for you while taking the credit is a powerful strategy for increasing your influence and achieving your goals with minimal effort. It's about leveraging the talents and efforts of others to your advantage, ensuring you reap the benefits without the associated toil. The essence of this law is delegation and strategic recognition. By enlisting others to carry out tasks, you can focus on overarching strategies and maintain a position of control and authority. The key is to ensure that you are seen as the driving force behind the success, even if others did the bulk of the work. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who is often credited with inventing the light bulb. In reality, many of Edison's inventions were the result of collaboration and the hard work of his team. Edison had a knack for recognizing talent and leveraging it to achieve his goals. He created an environment where bright minds could flourish, but he made sure his name was the one associated with their collective success. In modern workplaces, think about how managers and leaders often take credit for their team's successes. While the team executes the projects, the leader is seen as the one steering the ship, making strategic decisions, and ultimately being responsible for the success. This isn't inherently negative. It's about recognizing the value of delegation and positioning oneself as the leader who makes everything possible. To apply this law effectively, here are some steps. 1. Identify talents. Recognize the strengths and skills of those around you. Assign tasks that align with their abilities to ensure high-quality work. 2. Delegate wisely. Delegate tasks that are important but not necessarily strategic. This allows you to focus on higher-level decisions and planning. 3. Offer recognition. While it's important to take credit, ensure that your team feels valued and recognized. This fosters loyalty and keeps them motivated. 4. Maintain oversight. Even when delegating, stay informed about the progress and outcomes. This ensures you remain the authoritative figure behind the success. 5. Strategic presentation. When presenting the final results, frame it in a way that highlights your leadership and strategic vision while acknowledging the team's efforts. Suppose you're leading a project at work. By assigning specific tasks to team members based on their expertise, you ensure the project progresses smoothly. Throughout the process, you check in regularly, offering guidance and making strategic decisions. When the project is successful, you present it in a way that showcases your leadership while also appreciating your team's hard work. This strategy is not about being dishonest or unfair. It's about recognizing that effective leadership involves guiding a team to success and ensuring that the strategic vision and direction are clear. By taking credit, you establish yourself as a capable leader, which can open up further opportunities for you and your team. However, be mindful of the balance between taking credit and giving credit. Overstepping can lead to resentment and demotivation within your team. The goal is to maintain a reputation as a leader who recognizes and rewards contributions while also being seen as the key orchestrator of success. Law 8. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. This law is about positioning yourself in a way that others must approach you, putting you in a place of control and power. When people come to you, they are already inclined to be more compliant and eager to please, giving you the upper hand in negotiations and interactions. The essence of this law is strategic patience and allure. By creating a situation where others need or desire something from you, you naturally draw them in. This could be through offering something they want or positioning yourself as a person of significant value and importance. Think of a fisherman casting bait to lure fish. The fish come to the bait, unaware of the fisherman's control. Similarly, you can use various forms of bait to draw people towards you, be it through offering valuable information, promising opportunities, or simply being someone worth knowing. A classic example of this law in action is the strategy used by Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon would often retreat strategically, making his enemies think they had the upper hand. As they advanced, Napoleon's forces would regroup and counterattack, exploiting the enemy's overextension and eagerness. By making his enemies come to him, Napoleon controlled the battlefield. In today's world, this can be seen in business negotiations. Instead of chasing clients or deals, successful businesses often create an aura of exclusivity and value. Think of high-end brands like Apple or luxury car makers like Ferrari. They don't chase customers. Customers come to them, often willing to wait or pay a premium for the privilege. To apply this law effectively, here are some steps. 1. Create value. Offer something of value that others need or desire. This could be your expertise, a unique product, or access to exclusive information or opportunities. 2. Be strategic. Position yourself in a way that makes others seek you out. This could involve creating scarcity, building a strong reputation, or leveraging your network. 3. Use bait wisely. The bait you use should be appealing and valuable enough to draw others in, but not so costly that it diminishes your power. 4. Maintain control. Once people come to you, ensure you maintain control of the situation. Set the terms and conditions to your advantage. 5. Be patient. Sometimes it takes time for your strategy to work. Be patient and let others come to you at their own pace. Suppose you're a consultant with expertise in a niche field. Instead of reaching out to potential clients, you could write insightful articles, speak at industry conferences, and share valuable insights on social media. This positions you as an expert, making clients come to you for your unique knowledge and services. Imagine you're negotiating a job offer. Instead of appearing too eager, you can subtly indicate that you have other opportunities and that your skills are in high demand. This makes the employer more inclined to offer better terms to secure you. This strategy is not about being passive, it's about being strategic. By making others come to you, you automatically set the stage for favorable outcomes. You're in control, and the dynamic shifts in your favor. However, be cautious not to overplay your hand. If the bait isn't attractive enough, or if you appear too aloof, you might drive people away. The key is to find the right balance between allure and accessibility. Law 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Win through your actions, never through argument. This law emphasizes the power of demonstrating your points through tangible results and deeds rather than engaging in fruitless debates. Actions speak louder than words, and by showing rather than telling, you avoid unnecessary conflict and prove your point more effectively. Arguments rarely change minds. They often lead to entrenched positions and bruised egos, making it harder to reach a productive outcome. Instead of wasting time and energy on debates, channel your efforts into actions that clearly demonstrate your capabilities, ideas, and results. Consider the story of Galileo Galilei. In the 17th century, Galileo faced significant opposition from the Church regarding his heliocentric theory, the idea that the Earth revolves around the Sun. Instead of engaging in endless arguments, Galileo built a telescope and provided concrete evidence through his observations. His actions and discoveries spoke volumes, ultimately leading to broader acceptance of his ideas, even if it took time. In modern workplaces, actions often carry more weight than words. Suppose you have a new strategy to improve productivity. Instead of arguing with your colleagues about its merits, implement the strategy in a small pilot project. When the results come in, the data and success of the project will speak for themselves, making it easier to convince others. To apply this law effectively, here are some steps. 1. Demonstrate results. Focus on delivering tangible results that showcase your ideas and capabilities. This builds credibility and influence. 2. Lead by example. Set a strong example through your actions. People are more likely to follow someone who practices what they preach. 3. Avoid fruitless debates. Recognize when an argument is unproductive and pivot to action-based solutions. 4. Communicate through actions. Use your actions to communicate your points. For example, if you believe in teamwork, demonstrate it through collaborative efforts. 5. Build a track record. Consistently produce results and build a history of successful actions that speak for you. Imagine you're in a meeting where there's disagreement on the best approach to a problem. Instead of getting into a heated debate, propose a small trial of your approach. Once you have positive results, present them to the team. The success of your actions will be more persuasive than any argument you could have made. This approach also extends to personal relationships. If you want to demonstrate your commitment or love, grand gestures and consistent actions are far more powerful than just saying, "I love you." Actions like spending quality time, being supportive, and making thoughtful gestures build a stronger, more convincing case. It's important to recognize that while actions are powerful, they should be authentic. Disingenuous actions, or those taken purely for show, can backfire. Genuine, well-intentioned actions build trust and respect. Law 10, Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Hey there, so let's dive into Law 10, Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. This might sound a bit harsh at first, but stick with me. The idea here is to be mindful of the company you keep, because emotions and attitudes are incredibly contagious. If you surround yourself with negativity and misfortune, it can seep into your life, affecting your mood, decisions, and ultimately, your success. Think of it this way. Have you ever spent time with someone who's constantly complaining or always seems to have bad luck? After a while, you might start feeling down or even notice things going wrong in your own life. It's not magic. It's the psychological impact of their negative energy influencing your mindset and actions. Let's take a look at a historical example from the book. Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, was incredibly cautious about the people he allowed into his inner circle. He understood that associating with unhappy or unlucky individuals could tarnish his own reputation and bring unnecessary drama into his court. By surrounding himself with successful and positive people, Louis XIV maintained a vibrant and powerful reign. Now, let's bring it to a modern-day scenario. Imagine you're at work and there's a colleague who's always negative. They complain about the workload, the boss, and everything else under the sun. If you start spending your lunch breaks with this person, you'll probably find yourself adopting some of their negativity, even if it's unintentional. This can affect your own performance and how others perceive you. On the flip side, think about how uplifting it is to be around someone who's positive and successful. Their energy can inspire you, boost your mood, and even motivate you to achieve more. These are the kind of people who can pull you up rather than drag you down. So, how can you apply this law in your life? Start by taking an honest look at your social circle. Are there people who consistently bring negativity into your life? It might be time to create some distance. This doesn't mean cutting off friends or family entirely, but perhaps spending less time with them and more with those who bring positivity. For example, if you have a friend who's always venting about their problems, try to balance your interactions by also spending time with someone who's proactive and optimistic. This shift can make a huge difference in your own outlook and productivity. Also, be mindful of how you contribute to the dynamic. Are you spreading positivity or negativity? Strive to be the person who uplifts others. This doesn't mean ignoring real problems or feelings, but approaching them with a solution-oriented mindset. Another practical tip is to engage in activities that bring joy and positivity into your life. Whether it's a hobby, exercise, or spending time in nature, these activities can help you maintain a positive outlook, making you less susceptible to the negative energy of others. In summary, avoid the unhappy and unlucky is about being intentional with your relationships and surroundings. By aligning yourself with positive, successful individuals, you can protect your own energy and ensure that your environment supports your growth and happiness. It's all about creating a life filled with uplifting influences that propel you forward. Remember, it's not about abandoning people who are going through tough times, but rather managing how their energy affects you. Be supportive, but also protect your own well-being by balancing those interactions with positivity and success. This way, you'll keep your life and mindset on a positive trajectory. Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Hey there, let's jump into Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. This one's all about creating a sense of indispensability. When people rely on you, they're less likely to move against you and more likely to support you. It's like being the person with the only map in a treasure hunt. Everyone needs you to reach the goal. Imagine you're at work, and you're the only one who knows how to use a specific piece of software that's crucial for your team's projects. Your unique knowledge makes you indispensable. As long as you hold this key skill, your job security and influence within the team are pretty solid. Let's take a historical example from the book. Consider Cardinal Richelieu, the powerful advisor to King Louis III of France. Richelieu made himself indispensable by being the master of statecraft and diplomacy. He was so skilled in managing the affairs of the state that the king relied heavily on him. Richelieu's indispensability ensured his power and influence in the French court, as the king couldn't easily replace him without risking the stability of his reign. Now, let's look at a modern scenario. Think of Steve Jobs and Apple. Jobs wasn't just a CEO, he was the visionary force behind Apple's innovative products and brand identity. Even when he was ousted from Apple, the company struggled without his direction. When Jobs returned, he quickly became indispensable again, leading Apple to unprecedented success with products like the iPhone and iPad. His unique vision and leadership style were things only he could bring to the table, making him critical to Apple's success. So, how do you make yourself indispensable? It's all about developing unique skills, expertise, or connections that others can't easily replicate. Here's how you can do it in a friendly, practical way. Develop specialized skills. Focus on learning skills that are highly valuable but not commonly held within your group or organization. This could be anything from mastering a niche software, like in our earlier example, to developing an expertise in a particular area that's crucial to your team's success. Be the go-to person. Position yourself as the go-to person for a specific type of knowledge or task. This might mean volunteering for projects that others avoid or taking the lead on initiatives where you can showcase your unique talents. Build strong relationships. Foster strong, positive relationships with key people in your organization or community. When people like and trust you, they're more likely to depend on you and less likely to undermine you. Share your expertise wisely. While it's important to share your knowledge, don't give away everything. Maintain a level of control over your expertise. Teach others enough to help them, but keep some of the more complex or critical aspects within your domain. Create a network of support. Surround yourself with a network of allies who value your contributions. This can help ensure that others see you as indispensable and support your role within the group. For instance, suppose you're in a tech startup and you've developed a unique algorithm that's central to the company's product. By continuing to innovate and enhance this algorithm, you ensure that your role remains critical. You can also build a team that relies on your guidance and vision, further cementing your indispensability. It's important to strike a balance, though. While being indispensable can secure your position, it's also crucial to avoid creating a bottleneck where everything depends on you. This can lead to burnout and can be counterproductive in the long run. Instead, aim to be the person who everyone looks to for leadership and guidance, while also empowering others to grow and contribute. In essence, learn to keep people dependent on you is about cultivating a unique and valuable role that makes you irreplaceable. By doing so, you enhance your influence and ensure that others support and rely on you. It's a powerful way to maintain your position and control within any group or organization. Law 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Ready to dive into Law 12? This one is about using selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. It's all about strategically being honest and generous to lower people's defenses and make them more open to your influence. Let's break it down. Think about a time when someone gave you a heartfelt compliment or a generous gift. It probably made you feel good, right? Maybe you even felt a bit more open and trusting towards that person. That's the essence of this law, using well-placed acts of honesty and generosity to win people over and gain their trust. Let's start with a historical example. One of the best examples from the book is the story of Count Victor Lustig, a notorious con artist. Lustig managed to sell the Eiffel Tower twice by pretending to be a government official. How did he pull this off? He used selective honesty and generosity to gain the trust of his victims. Lustig would share a small, believable piece of confidential information with his marks to gain their trust. Once they believed he was an insider, they were more than willing to go along with his scam. His initial honesty disarmed them, making them vulnerable to his larger deceit. Now, let's bring this to a modern scenario. Imagine you're negotiating a business deal. Instead of playing hardball from the get-go, you might start by being upfront about a minor flaw in your proposal or generously offering a small concession. This honesty and generosity can make the other party feel like you're trustworthy and fair, softening them up for the main negotiation where you can push for your primary objectives. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical, friendly way. Start with honesty. When you're building a relationship or trying to gain someone's trust, start with a small, honest gesture. This could be sharing a personal story or admitting a minor mistake. This kind of transparency can make people see you as genuine and trustworthy. Be generous. Strategically, use generosity to your advantage by offering something of value at the right moment. This could be a thoughtful gift, a kind gesture, or even sharing valuable information. The key is to make sure your generosity is noticed and appreciated, but not overdone. Lower defenses. The goal is to lower the other person's defenses. When people feel like you're being honest and generous, they're less likely to question your motives and more likely to go along with your plans. Build goodwill. These acts of honesty and generosity build goodwill, which you can later leverage when you need support, cooperation, or trust from the other person. For instance, let's say you're a manager working to build a cohesive team. At a team meeting, you might start by honestly acknowledging a challenge the team faces and thanking everyone for their hard work. Then, you could offer a small but meaningful reward, like a gift card or an extra day off. This combination of honesty and generosity can boost morale and foster a sense of loyalty and trust within the team. Or consider a personal relationship. Maybe you're trying to mend a rift with a friend. Admitting your role in the misunderstanding, honesty, and then suggesting a fun outing or treating them to something they enjoy, generosity, can go a long way in repairing the relationship. It's important to be genuine in your actions. People can often sense insincerity, so your honesty and generosity need to feel authentic. The power of this law lies in its subtlety, a little honesty here, a touch of generosity there, all working together to create a strong foundation of trust and influence. In essence, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim teaches us that well-placed acts of kindness and truth can significantly enhance our influence over others. By being strategic with our honesty and generosity, we can build trust, lower defenses, and create a strong rapport that benefits us in the long run. Law 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. This law is all about understanding what motivates people and using that knowledge to your advantage. It's about framing your requests in a way that aligns with the other person's interests, making it more likely they will help you. Think about it. People are generally more inclined to act when they see a clear benefit for themselves. Appeals to mercy or gratitude can sometimes work, but they are often less effective because they rely on the other person's emotions rather than their self-interest. Let's look at a historical example from the book. The Italian statesman and diplomat Niccolò Machiavelli was a master of this law. When he needed support from powerful figures, he didn't rely on their kindness. Instead, he made sure to highlight how helping him would benefit them. He framed his requests in a way that appealed directly to their ambitions and personal gains, ensuring that they saw his success as aligned with their own interests. Now, consider a modern-day scenario. Imagine you're trying to secure a partnership with another business. Instead of asking for their support out of goodwill or past favors, you should present a clear case of how this partnership will benefit them. Maybe it's about how the collaboration will open up new markets for them, increase their revenue, or enhance their brand reputation. When they see the tangible benefits, they are much more likely to say yes. Here's how you can apply this law in your everyday life. Understand their interests. Before making a request, take the time to understand what motivates the person you're asking. What are their goals, needs, and desires? The more you know about what they value, the better you can tailor your request to appeal to those interests. Frame your request accordingly. Instead of framing your request as a favor or appealing to their sense of duty, present it in a way that highlights the benefits for them. Show them what they stand to gain by helping you. Be specific. Clearly outline the advantages they will get. The more specific and tangible the benefits, the more persuasive your request will be. Build a win-win scenario. Position your request as a mutually beneficial arrangement. Make it clear that by helping you, they are also helping themselves. For example, suppose you need a colleague's help on a project. Instead of saying, "Can you help me with this because I'm swamped?" you might say, "I could really use your expertise on this project. If we succeed, it will really highlight our team's capabilities and could lead to more high-profile assignments for both of us." Another scenario could be asking a friend for a favor. Instead of saying, "Can you help me move this weekend?" you might say, "I could use some help moving this weekend, and in return, I'll help." This approach is particularly effective in professional settings. If you're pitching an idea to your boss, focus on how it will benefit the company and, by extension, reflect well on them. For instance, implementing this new system will increase our productivity by 20%, which will significantly boost our department's performance metrics and make us all look good. The key takeaway from this law is that people are inherently motivated by their own interests. By aligning your requests with those interests, you make it easier for others to say yes. It's not about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature and crafting your requests in a way that naturally resonates with the other person's desires and goals. In summary, when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude, teaches us to be strategic and considerate in how we frame our requests. By focusing on what the other person stands to gain, we increase the likelihood of getting the support we need. This approach fosters a more cooperative and mutually beneficial relationship, ensuring that both parties feel valued and motivated. Law 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. This law is about gathering valuable information while maintaining the appearance of friendship and trust. It's a bit sneaky, but can be incredibly effective in understanding your rivals, colleagues, or anyone you need to influence. Think of it this way: knowledge is power. The more you know about others, their strengths, weaknesses, and intentions, the better equipped you are to navigate social and professional landscapes. By posing as a friend, you can get close to people and learn things they might not openly share. One of the most famous examples from history is the story of Cardinal Richelieu, the French statesman. Richelieu was a master of intrigue and espionage. He placed spies throughout the French court, gathering information on his rivals and even his allies. This intelligence allowed him to stay one step ahead of everyone, neutralizing threats and consolidating his power. He managed to maintain a facade of friendship and loyalty while always working to protect and enhance his position. In today's world, this law can be applied in more subtle and ethical ways. Imagine you're working in a competitive office environment. By building friendly relationships with your colleagues, you can gain insights into their projects, challenges, and strategies. This information can help you position yourself more effectively within the company. Here's how you can apply this law in a friendly, practical way. Be genuine in your friendliness. When you're trying to gather information, it's important to be genuinely friendly and interested in others. People can usually sense insincerity, so your interactions need to feel authentic. Listen more than you talk. Encourage others to talk about themselves by asking open-ended questions and showing genuine interest in their responses. The more they talk, the more you'll learn. Observe carefully. Pay attention to details in your interactions. Body language, tone of voice, and offhand comments can provide valuable clues about what's really going on beneath the surface. Share selectively. While it's important to be friendly, don't reveal too much about yourself or your own plans. Share enough to build trust, but keep your strategic intentions under wraps. Use the information wisely. The information you gather should be used to inform your decisions and strategies, not to harm others. Think of it as gaining a deeper understanding of the landscape so you can navigate it more effectively. Suppose you're in a sales team and want to understand why a colleague is consistently outperforming everyone else. By befriending them and showing interest in their work, you might learn about their unique approach or techniques. This knowledge can help you improve your own performance. You might discover that they have a special method for approaching clients or a unique way of pitching products that you can adapt and use yourself. Another example could be within a community organization. If you're looking to implement a new initiative but are unsure of potential resistance, talking to various members in a friendly, casual manner can help you gauge their feelings and gather useful feedback. You might find out who supports your idea, who opposes it, and why. This intelligence allows you to address concerns and build stronger support before officially presenting your plan. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate or deceive maliciously, but to gather insights that can help you achieve your goals more effectively. It's about being strategic in your interactions and using the knowledge you gain to navigate complex situations better. Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. This one's about understanding the importance of completely neutralizing your opponents to prevent future threats. It's a bit intense, but the idea is to eliminate any possibility of retaliation or revenge by dealing with your enemies decisively and thoroughly. Imagine you're playing a game of chess. If you leave your opponent with even one piece that can cause trouble, they might stage a comeback and defeat you. The same principle applies in power dynamics. If you only partially deal with a rival, they may recover and come back stronger, seeking revenge. A historical example from the book is the story of the Carthaginian general Hannibal. After his stunning victories against Rome in the Second Punic War, the Romans realized they could not afford to leave Carthage as a threat. They launched the Third Punic War and completely destroyed Carthage, ensuring it would never rise again. By crushing Carthage totally, Rome secured its dominance and eliminated a persistent threat. In modern contexts, this law can be applied more metaphorically. Think about business rivalries. If you're a company trying to outdo a competitor, half measures might not be enough. You need to decisively outperform them in quality, innovation, and customer service to ensure they can't pose a threat to your market position in the future. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Identify the threat clearly. Understand who or what poses a real threat to your goals. This could be a business competitor, a political rival, or even a personal adversary. Plan decisively. Develop a comprehensive strategy to deal with the threat. This could involve outmaneuvering them in business, outsmarting them in negotiations, or rallying stronger support for your ideas. Execute thoroughly. When you take action, do it in a way that leaves no room for retaliation. Ensure that your victory is so complete that your rival cannot recover or regroup. Avoid unnecessary cruelty. While the law emphasizes total victory, it doesn't mean you should be unnecessarily harsh or cruel. The goal is to neutralize the threat, not to create more animosity. Use ethical tactics. Apply this law in an ethical manner. Focus on outperforming and outsmarting rather than resorting to unethical behavior. Suppose you're in a competitive job market and aiming for a promotion. Instead of just doing the minimum to stand out, you go all out. You take on additional projects, consistently deliver outstanding results, build strong relationships with key stakeholders, and continuously improve your skills. By the time the promotion decision comes around, it's clear that you're the top candidate, and your competition doesn't stand a chance. Another example could be in a startup environment. If you're launching a new product, don't just aim to match your competitors, aim to surpass them in every possible way. Offer better features, superior customer service, and more compelling marketing. Make your product so clearly superior that customers wouldn't even consider switching back to a competitor. In personal relationships, this law can be applied by addressing conflicts thoroughly. If there's a recurring issue with someone, instead of just temporarily fixing it, have a deep and honest conversation to resolve the underlying problems completely. This way, the issue won't keep resurfacing, and you can move forward without lingering tensions. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. This one's about the strategic use of absence to make people value you more. It's like the old saying, Absence makes the heart grow fonder. When you're always available, people might take you for granted. By making yourself scarce, you can increase your value and the respect people have for you. Think about it. If you're constantly present, people might start to feel like they can predict your actions, and your presence might lose its impact. However, if you're occasionally absent, people will notice your absence and start to appreciate your presence more when you are around. One historical example from the book is the story of King Louis XIV of France. Louis would sometimes withdraw from his court for periods of time. His absence created a sense of mystery and anticipation. When he returned, the courtiers were more eager to please him, and his presence was felt more strongly. His absences made his return more significant and reinforced his power and influence. In modern times, think about celebrities or influential figures who step out of the public eye for a while. When they return, there's often a buzz and excitement surrounding their reappearance. Their absence creates a sense of scarcity, making their return more impactful. Here's how you can apply this law in a friendly, practical way. Create scarcity. Don't be overly available all the time. Make sure people have moments where they miss your presence. This could be in professional settings, social circles, or even in personal relationships. Strategic absence. Plan your absences strategically. For example, if you're always attending every meeting, try skipping a few less critical ones. When you do attend, your input will be more valued. Focus on quality interactions. When you are present, make sure your interactions are meaningful and impactful. This way, people remember your contributions even when you're not there. Recharge and reflect. Use your absence as a time to recharge and reflect. When you return, you'll be more energetic and bring fresh perspectives, which others will appreciate. Avoid overdoing it. Be careful not to be absent too often. The goal is to increase respect and honor, not to make people forget about you entirely. Find the right balance. Imagine you're a team leader at work. If you're always available to solve every minor issue, your team might become too dependent on you and start to take your presence for granted. However, if you step back occasionally and let them handle some challenges on their own, they'll start to appreciate your guidance more. When you do step in, your input will be more valued and your presence will have a stronger impact. Or think about your social life. If you're always attending every social event, people might start to assume you'll always be there and may not make much effort to engage with you. But if you skip a few gatherings, people might start to notice your absence and realize how much they enjoy your company when you do show up. Your occasional absence can make your presence feel more special. This law also applies to communication. If you're constantly texting or calling someone, they might start to feel overwhelmed or take your messages for granted. But if you occasionally give them space, they might start to miss your messages and value your communication more when it does happen. Law 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. This law is about using unpredictability as a strategy to keep people off balance and make it harder for them to anticipate your next move. By being unpredictable, you can create an element of surprise and maintain control over your environment and the people in it. The idea is that when people can't predict your actions, they become cautious and even fearful, which can work to your advantage. Unpredictability keeps others from developing a coherent strategy against you, as they can never be sure what you will do next. Let's start with a historical example. Take the story of General George S. Patton during World War II. Patton was known for his unpredictable tactics and bold maneuvers, which often left his enemies guessing. His unpredictability kept the German forces on edge, as they could never be sure where or how he would strike next. This kept them constantly off balance and contributed significantly to the Allied success in Europe. In a more modern context, think about successful entrepreneurs like Elon Musk. Musk's actions and announcements often come out of the blue, keeping both competitors and the market on their toes. Whether it's a surprising tweet, an unexpected product launch, or a sudden change in business strategy, Musk's unpredictability generates a mix of excitement and uncertainty, maintaining his influence and control over the narrative. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Change your patterns. Break your usual routines and habits occasionally. If people can predict your behavior, they can manipulate or take advantage of it. By changing your patterns, you keep others from gaining that kind of control. Surprise them. Every now and then, do something unexpected that takes people by surprise. This doesn't have to be something major. Even small, unexpected actions can create a sense of unpredictability. Keep your plans private. Don't reveal all your plans and strategies to others. Share enough to keep people informed, but hold back on the details that could give away your next move. Be flexible. Adapt to changing circumstances and be willing to change your approach if needed. Flexibility is key to maintaining unpredictability. Avoid predictability in conflict. If you're in a competitive situation or facing opposition, avoid predictable responses. By reacting in unexpected ways, you can keep your adversaries off balance. Imagine you're in a leadership role at work. If your team can always predict how you'll respond to situations, they might become complacent or find ways to manipulate outcomes to their advantage. But if you occasionally change your approach or make unexpected decisions, it keeps everyone on their toes and more engaged. For example, if you usually run team meetings in a structured, predictable manner, try shaking things up with a new format or unexpected agenda items. This can invigorate your team and keep them more alert and involved. In personal relationships, unpredictability can also play a positive role. Suppose you're planning a special evening with your partner. Instead of following your usual routine, plan a surprise activity or an unexpected gesture. This can add excitement and keep the relationship dynamic and engaging. However, it's important to use this law wisely. Unpredictability should not translate into erratic or unreliable behavior. The goal is to keep people guessing and engaged, not to create instability or distrust. Striking the right balance is key. Law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. This one is all about understanding the risks of isolating yourself from the world. While it might seem safer to retreat and protect yourself from potential threats, doing so can actually make you more vulnerable. The idea here is that isolation cuts you off from valuable information, allies, and opportunities. When you're isolated, you can't see what's happening around you, and you lose touch with important developments. This makes it easier for your enemies to attack and harder for you to respond effectively. A great historical example from the book is the story of the Chinese Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He built the Great Wall of China to protect his empire from invaders. While the wall was an impressive feat, it also symbolized a fortress mentality. By isolating his empire, he created internal weaknesses and paranoia, eventually leading to his downfall. The wall didn't prevent invasions in the long run and contributed to a sense of false security. In modern times, think about how companies operate. Successful businesses don't isolate themselves. They stay connected with the market, customers, and competitors. They actively seek feedback, collaborate with partners, and stay informed about industry trends. Isolation in business can lead to missed opportunities and an inability to adapt to changes. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Stay connected. Make an effort to build and maintain relationships with a diverse group of people. This includes colleagues, friends, mentors, and even competitors. These connections can provide valuable insights and support. Be open to feedback. Encourage and listen to feedback from others. It helps you stay aware of potential issues and areas for improvement. Isolating yourself from criticism can lead to blind spots and missed opportunities for growth. Engage with your community. Whether it's your workplace, industry, or social circle, actively engage with your community. Attend events, participate in discussions, and be present. This keeps you informed and connected. Diversify your information sources. Relying on a single source of information can be risky. Diversify where you get your news, insights, and feedback. This helps you get a more comprehensive view of what's happening around you. Avoid paranoia. While it's important to be cautious, avoid becoming overly paranoid. Trust the people who have proven themselves reliable and work on building trust with new connections. Imagine you're a manager at a company. If you isolate yourself in your office, only communicating through emails and avoiding face-to-face interactions, you miss out on the pulse of the office. You won't know the concerns and ideas of your team, making it harder to lead effectively. Instead, by regularly interacting with your team, attending meetings, and being approachable, you stay connected and informed, making you a more effective leader. Or think about personal relationships. If you isolate yourself from friends and family, you miss out on their support, love, and the joy they bring into your life. Staying connected with your loved ones enriches your life and provides a support system during challenging times. Even in competitive environments, isolation can be detrimental. Suppose you're an entrepreneur. If you isolate yourself from your competitors, you miss the chance to learn from their successes and mistakes. Engaging with the broader business community can provide valuable insights that help you improve your own business strategies. Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This law is about the importance of understanding the people around you and being careful not to make enemies out of the wrong individuals. It's all about reading people correctly and knowing how to navigate different personalities and power dynamics. The core idea here is that not everyone is the same. Some people can be easily brushed off without consequences, but others might hold grudges or have the power to retaliate in significant ways. Misjudging someone's importance or influence can lead to unexpected problems and setbacks. A historical example from the book is the story of King Henry VIII and Thomas More. Henry VIII was known for his ruthless approach to anyone who opposed him. When Thomas More, his advisor, refused to acknowledge Henry's supremacy over the Church of England, Henry had More executed. More underestimated the lengths to which Henry would go to assert his authority. Misjudging Henry's character and power cost More his life. In a modern context, think about workplace dynamics. Suppose you're in a meeting and you dismissively challenge a colleague's idea, not realizing they have a close relationship with the CEO. This could backfire, damaging your reputation and career prospects. Understanding the power dynamics and relationships within your organization can help you avoid these pitfalls. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Do your homework. Take the time to learn about the people you interact with. Understand their backgrounds, their relationships, and their influence. This knowledge can help you navigate interactions more effectively. Read the room. Pay attention to body language, tone of voice, and other nonverbal cues. These can give you insights into how people feel and how they might react to certain situations. Be respectful. Treat everyone with respect, regardless of their position. You never know who might have hidden influence or power. Plus, respect fosters positive relationships and can prevent unnecessary conflicts. Choose your battles wisely. Not every disagreement needs to be a confrontation. Sometimes it's better to let minor issues go rather than risk offending someone who might hold a grudge or have the power to harm you. Build alliances. Make an effort to build positive relationships with key individuals. Having allies can provide protection and support when you need it. Imagine you're working on a project with a team and you have a disagreement with a colleague. Instead of immediately shutting down their idea, take a moment to understand where they're coming from. Ask questions and show genuine interest in their perspective. You might discover that their approach has merit or that they have strong backing from higher-ups. By handling the situation diplomatically, you avoid creating unnecessary enemies and potentially gain valuable allies. In personal relationships, this law is equally important. Suppose you're at a family gathering and a relative makes a comment you disagree with. Instead of reacting harshly, consider the broader family dynamics and the potential fallout from a confrontation. Sometimes it's better to address disagreements privately or let minor issues slide to maintain harmony and avoid long-term resentment. Another example could be in social media interactions. If you post something controversial, be prepared for varied reactions. Before responding defensively to criticism, consider who is making the comment. They might have a large following or significant influence that could amplify the conflict. Engaging thoughtfully and respectfully can help you manage the situation without escalating it. Law 20. Do not commit to anyone. This law is about maintaining independence and flexibility by avoiding binding commitments to any single person or group. By staying uncommitted, you keep your options open and remain in control of your destiny. The essence of this law is to avoid being tied down by alliances or loyalties that can limit your freedom and maneuverability. When you don't commit to anyone, you can navigate situations more strategically and take advantage of opportunities as they arise. It also makes others more eager to win your favor, giving you leverage and power. A historical example from the book is Queen Elizabeth I of England. Elizabeth skillfully used her status as an unmarried queen to her advantage. By not committing to marriage, she kept European powers guessing and vying for her favor, which she used to strengthen England's position. Her refusal to commit allowed her to play various suitors and nations against each other, maintaining her independence and control. In modern times, think about business negotiations. If you commit too early to one partner or deal, you might miss out on better opportunities that come later. By keeping your options open, you can negotiate from a position of strength, leveraging different offers against each other to get the best possible outcome. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Stay flexible. In both professional and personal relationships, avoid making commitments that limit your future options. This doesn't mean you can't form alliances, but be wary of binding agreements that restrict your freedom. Keep your cards close. Don't reveal all your intentions or plans to others. By maintaining an element of mystery about your commitments, you keep people interested and engaged in winning your favor. Balance relationships. Engage with multiple people or groups without fully committing to any one. This keeps your options open and prevents others from taking you for granted. Use FOMO to your advantage. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a powerful motivator. By not committing, you can create a sense of urgency and competition among those who seek your support or partnership. Evaluate carefully. Before making any commitment, carefully evaluate the long-term implications. Make sure it aligns with your goals and doesn't limit your ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Suppose you're a freelancer with multiple clients. Instead of committing to one client exclusively, you keep your client base diverse. This way, you're not overly dependent on any single source of income, and you can take on new and potentially more lucrative projects as they come along. This approach not only secures your financial stability, but also keeps clients interested in maintaining a good relationship with you. In a social context, consider dating. If you commit too early to a relationship before really understanding your partner and your own needs, you might find yourself stuck in a less than ideal situation. By taking your time and not rushing into a commitment, you allow the relationship to develop naturally and ensure that it's truly the right fit for both parties. In the workplace, imagine you're considering a job offer. Instead of immediately accepting the first offer that comes your way, you keep your options open and continue to explore other opportunities. This approach allows you to negotiate better terms and choose the job that best aligns with your career goals and values. Law 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. This law is about using deception to your advantage by pretending to be less intelligent or knowledgeable than you actually are. By doing so, you can lull your opponents into a false sense of security, making them underestimate you and lowering their defenses. The idea here is that when people think they're smarter or more capable than you, they become overconfident. This overconfidence can lead them to make mistakes and reveal their true intentions. Meanwhile, you can gather valuable information and plan your moves without them suspecting a thing. A classic example from the book is the story of General George Washington during the American Revolution. Washington often appeared indecisive and slow to act, leading the British to underestimate him. This allowed Washington to launch surprise attacks, such as the famous crossing of the Delaware River and the victory at the Battle of Trenton. By playing the fool, he caught his enemies off guard and secured crucial victories. In a modern context, consider a business negotiation. If you go into a meeting acting as if you don't fully understand the terms or the market, your opponent might let their guard down. They might reveal more than they intended or offer terms more favorable to you, thinking they're getting the better deal. Meanwhile, you're actually fully aware and in control, guiding the negotiation to your advantage. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Underestimate yourself on purpose. In situations where you want to gain an edge, act as if you don't fully understand or aren't as capable as you actually are. This can lead others to reveal more information or underestimate your capabilities. Ask simple questions. By asking seemingly simple or naive questions, you can encourage others to explain their plans and intentions in more detail. This can give you valuable insights into their strategies and weaknesses. Appear indecisive. Sometimes, appearing indecisive or unsure can prompt others to take the lead, revealing their plans and giving you the upper hand. Once you have all the information, you can make a more informed and strategic decision. Let others feel superior. Allowing others to feel smarter or more capable than you can be a powerful psychological tactic. Their overconfidence can lead to mistakes and give you opportunities to outmaneuver them. Use humor. Humor can be an effective way to disarm others and make them underestimate you. By making light of your abilities or knowledge, you can put people at ease and lower their defenses. Imagine you're in a job interview and the interviewer seems particularly confident and challenging. Instead of matching their confidence with your own, you might play it humble, asking for clarification on certain points or appearing unsure about some details. This can lead the interviewer to relax and potentially reveal more about the role and company dynamics, giving you valuable insights for later in the interview or negotiation process. In personal relationships, this law can also be useful. Suppose you're playing a game with friends and one of them is particularly competitive. By downplaying your skills and pretending to struggle, you can lull them into a false sense of security. When the time is right, you can use your actual skills to win the game, surprising everyone and securing a satisfying victory. It's important to use this law ethically and wisely. The goal is to gather information and create strategic advantages, not to deceive or harm others maliciously. By appearing less knowledgeable or capable than you are, you can encourage others to reveal their true intentions and make mistakes, allowing you to navigate situations more effectively. Law 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. This law is about the strategic use of surrender to turn a position of weakness into one of strength. It's a counterintuitive approach that can be incredibly effective in the right circumstances. The idea here is that by surrendering, you can diffuse conflict, buy time, and ultimately position yourself more favorably. When you surrender, you give the appearance of yielding while secretly plotting your next move. It's about playing the long game and using your perceived weakness to gain an advantage later. A historical example from the book is the story of Emperor Napoleon and the Russian campaign. After suffering significant losses and facing a devastating winter, Napoleon's forces were in retreat. Instead of continuing to fight a losing battle, Napoleon strategically surrendered certain territories, regrouped, and eventually rebuilt his army. This temporary surrender allowed him to preserve his strength for future battles. In a modern context, think about business negotiations. Suppose you're negotiating a deal and realize that the other party has the upper hand. Instead of pushing back and risking a complete loss, you might strategically concede certain points. This can build goodwill and make the other party feel like they've won, giving you an opportunity to negotiate more favorable terms in the future. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Recognize when to surrender. Understand that surrendering isn't a sign of defeat, it's a strategic move. Recognize situations where pushing forward would lead to greater losses and where a tactical retreat can save resources and relationships. Maintain dignity and respect. When you surrender, do so with dignity and respect. This helps maintain your reputation and keeps the door open for future opportunities. Use surrender to buy time. Use the surrender to regroup, gather more information, and plan your next move. This can be particularly useful in negotiations or conflicts where the balance of power may shift over time. Build goodwill. By conceding certain points, you can build goodwill and create a sense of obligation in the other party. This can lead to more favorable outcomes in the long run. Plan your comeback. Always have a plan for your comeback. Use the time and space created by your surrender to strengthen your position and prepare for a future advantage. Imagine you're in a workplace conflict with a colleague over a project. The situation is escalating, and continuing to fight could damage your professional relationship and harm the project. Instead, you choose to step back and concede some points to your colleague. This move can diffuse the tension, preserve your relationship, and create an opportunity to work together more effectively in the future. Meanwhile, you can use the time to find new strategies to improve the project and showcase your value in other ways. In personal relationships, the surrender tactic can also be useful. Suppose you're having a disagreement with a friend or partner. Continuing to argue could strain the relationship. Instead, you might choose to surrender on a particular point, showing that you value the relationship more than winning the argument. This can create a sense of goodwill and open the door for more constructive conversations in the future. In a competitive environment, such as sports or games, surrendering can sometimes be a strategic move. For instance, in a chess match, conceding a piece to gain a more advantageous position later can be a brilliant tactic. It's about thinking several moves ahead and using temporary setbacks to set up a future win. Law 23. Concentrate your forces. This law is about focusing your resources, efforts, and attention on key areas to achieve maximum impact. Instead of spreading yourself thin, concentrate your forces on what truly matters to amplify your power and influence. The idea here is that by focusing your energy on a few critical areas, you can achieve more significant and more impactful results. Trying to do everything at once dilutes your efforts and weakens your effectiveness. Concentration leads to strength, while dispersion leads to weakness. A historical example from the book is the story of the Prussian king Frederick the Great. Frederick understood the importance of concentrating his forces. In battles, he often used the tactic of oblique order, where he would focus the bulk of his troops on one part of the enemy's line, then overwhelming them with concentrated force. This strategy allowed him to defeat larger armies by focusing his resources where they could do the most damage. In a modern context, think about successful businesses. Companies like Apple and Google have thrived by concentrating their efforts on core products and services. Instead of trying to be good at everything, they focus on a few key areas where they can excel and dominate the market. This concentrated effort leads to innovation, quality, and market leadership. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Identify your priorities. Determine the few areas or goals that are most important to you. These should be the ones that will have the most significant impact on your success and well-being. Focus your efforts. Direct your time, energy, and resources toward these priorities. Avoid distractions and resist the temptation to spread yourself too thin. Master your craft. Concentrate on developing your skills and expertise in your chosen areas. Becoming a master in a few areas is more powerful than being mediocre in many. Delegate and outsource. For tasks and areas that are not your main focus, consider delegating or outsourcing. This allows you to concentrate your efforts on what you do best. Stay disciplined. Maintain discipline in your focus. Regularly review your goals and ensure that your actions align with your priorities. Imagine you're an entrepreneur starting a new business. Instead of offering a wide range of products or services right away, you concentrate on one or two core offerings. By doing so, you can ensure high quality, build a strong brand, and establish a loyal customer base. Once you've mastered these core areas, you can gradually expand your offerings with a solid foundation in place. In personal development, concentrating your forces can mean focusing on a few key skills or habits you want to develop. For example, if you want to improve your health, you might focus on 2 or 3 main areas, such as regular exercise, healthy eating, and sufficient sleep. By concentrating your efforts on these key aspects, you're more likely to see significant improvements than if you tried to overhaul every aspect of your life at once. In the workplace, concentrating your forces might involve focusing on a few high-impact projects rather than trying to tackle every task that comes your way. By prioritizing the most critical projects, you can deliver outstanding results and demonstrate your value to your team and organization. Let's say you're a student with multiple interests. Instead of trying to excel in every subject or activity, you might choose to concentrate on a few areas where you have the most passion and potential. This focus can lead to greater achievements, deeper knowledge, and more fulfilling experiences. Law 24. Play the perfect courtier. This law is about mastering the art of dealing with people in power and learning how to navigate social hierarchies with grace and effectiveness. Being a courtier means being able to charm, influence, and manage those around you while maintaining your own position and advancing your goals. The perfect courtier knows how to make others feel important and valued, how to avoid unnecessary conflicts, and how to use subtlety and diplomacy to achieve their aims. It's about being adaptable, observant, and strategic in your interactions. One historical example from the book is the story of Castiglione's The Book of the Courtier. This book was written as a guide for courtiers in the Renaissance, teaching them how to behave, converse, and interact with their superiors. It emphasized qualities like discretion, elegance, and the ability to entertain and flatter without appearing insincere. Courtiers who mastered these skills were able to navigate the complex dynamics of court life and gain favor with powerful figures. In a modern context, think about successful politicians, business leaders, or social influencers. They often have a keen sense of how to present themselves, how to read the room, and how to build alliances. These skills are essential for navigating any environment where power dynamics are at play. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Be observant. Pay attention to the dynamics and hierarchies around you. Understand who holds the power, who influences whom, and what the unwritten rules are. Show respect and courtesy. Treat everyone with respect, regardless of their position. This builds goodwill and helps you avoid unnecessary conflicts. Be adaptable. Adjust your behavior and communication style to fit different situations and people. Being flexible and adaptable makes you more effective in various contexts. Use subtlety. Avoid being too direct or confrontational. Use subtlety and diplomacy to navigate sensitive situations and advance your goals without causing friction. Build alliances. Develop positive relationships with key individuals. Be supportive, helpful, and loyal to build a network of allies who can support you in your endeavors. Imagine you're working in a corporate environment. By observing the company's culture and dynamics, you can identify key influencers and decision makers. Instead of trying to push your ideas forcefully, you might build relationships with these individuals, seeking their input and showing respect for their opinions. This approach can help you gain their support and advance your projects more effectively. In social situations, playing the perfect courtier means being a good listener, showing genuine interest in others, and being gracious and polite. These qualities make you more likable and can help you build a wide network of friends and acquaintances who value your presence and support. In personal relationships, understanding and adapting to the needs and preferences of others can strengthen your connections. For example, if you're in a group of friends, being the one who smooths over conflicts, listens attentively, and shows appreciation for others can make you an indispensable part of the group. It's also important to avoid common pitfalls. The perfect courtier does not engage in gossip or backstabbing, as these behaviors can backfire and damage your reputation. Instead, focus on building a positive image through your actions and interactions. Law 25. Recreate yourself. This law is all about the power of self-reinvention and taking control of your own image. By consciously shaping how others perceive you, you can enhance your influence, adapt to new situations, and continually grow in both personal and professional life. The essence of this law is understanding that you are the master of your identity. Rather than letting others define who you are, take proactive steps to craft and project the image that best serves your goals and aspirations. This might involve changing your appearance, behavior, or even your entire career path. A historical example from the book is the story of Julius Caesar. Before he became the powerful leader we know today, Caesar carefully crafted his public image. He borrowed money to present himself as a wealthy and generous man, which helped him gain the support of the people. He staged grand public events and made sure his military victories were well publicized. Through these deliberate actions, Caesar recreated himself from a relatively unknown figure to one of Rome's most influential leaders. In modern times, think about celebrities who continually reinvent themselves to stay relevant and interesting. Madonna, for example, is known for her ability to constantly change her image and style, which has kept her at the forefront of the music industry for decades. Each reinvention brings a fresh perspective and renewed public interest. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Assess your current image. Take an honest look at how you are currently perceived. What aspects of your image are working for you, and what might be holding you back? Understanding your starting point is crucial for effective reinvention. Set clear goals. Decide what you want to achieve with your new image. Are you looking to advance in your career, build new relationships, or simply explore new aspects of your personality? Clear goals will guide your transformation. Experiment and adapt. Don't be afraid to try new things. This might involve changing your wardrobe, adopting new habits, or pursuing different interests. Be open to experimentation and willing to adapt based on feedback and results. Control the narrative. Take charge of the stories people tell about you. Share your successes and experiences in ways that align with your new image. Use social media, networking, and personal interactions to reinforce your desired identity. Embrace continuous growth. Reinventing yourself isn't a one-time event. Commit to ongoing personal and professional development. As you grow and change, continue to refine and evolve your image to reflect your latest achievements and aspirations. Imagine you're in a job where you feel stuck and underappreciated. By recreating yourself, you could start by identifying a new career path that excites you. You might take courses to gain new skills, update your wardrobe to match the industry's standards, and start networking with professionals in the field. Gradually, you build a new image as an expert in your chosen area, opening up opportunities that align with your new identity. In personal relationships, recreating yourself can mean shedding old habits or traits that no longer serve you. Suppose you've always been known as the quiet, reserved type, but want to become more social and outgoing. You could start by attending social events, practicing small talk, and engaging more actively in conversations. Over time, people will begin to see you as a more sociable and dynamic individual. For a more public example, think about how influencers on social media reinvent their personal brands. They might start with a focus on one niche, like fitness, and then expand to other areas like travel or entrepreneurship. By continually evolving their content and image, they keep their audience engaged and attract new followers. Law 26. Keep your hands clean. This law is about maintaining a spotless reputation by ensuring that you are never directly associated with any dubious or unethical actions. It's about being above reproach and making sure that any potentially damaging actions are carried out by others, not by you. The idea is to distance yourself from any actions that could tarnish your reputation while still achieving your goals. This way, you can maintain the appearance of integrity and morality, even if behind the scenes you are involved in complex maneuvers. A historical example from the book is the story of Niccolò Machiavelli, who advised rulers to avoid direct involvement in any acts that could be perceived as unethical. Instead, they should use intermediaries to carry out such actions. This way, the ruler's hands remain clean, and they can deny any involvement if things go wrong. In modern times, think about political figures who use advisors or aides to handle controversial tasks. If the actions backfire, the politician can distance themselves from the aide, protecting their own reputation. This strategy is often used to maintain a public image of honesty and integrity while navigating the murky waters of politics. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Delegate controversial tasks. If you need to take actions that could be seen as unethical or controversial, delegate these tasks to someone else. This keeps your hands clean and allows you to maintain your reputation. Use intermediaries. When dealing with sensitive issues, use intermediaries to communicate or act on your behalf. This provides a buffer and helps distance you from any potential fallout. Be mindful of associations. Be cautious about who you associate with. If you're connected with people who have questionable reputations, their actions can reflect poorly on you. Maintain transparency. Ensure that your own actions are transparent and above reproach. This way, even if controversy arises, your personal integrity remains intact. Control the narrative. Be proactive in managing how your actions are perceived. Use public relations strategies to highlight your positive contributions and distance yourself from any negative associations. Imagine you're a manager at work and you need to implement a policy that might be unpopular with your team. Instead of delivering the news yourself, you might have your HR department handle the communication. This way, if there's backlash, it's directed at the department rather than you personally, allowing you to maintain a positive relationship with your team. In personal relationships, keeping your hands clean might involve staying out of conflicts. If friends or family members are involved in a dispute, it's often better to remain neutral and avoid taking sides. This way, you can preserve your relationships with all parties and avoid being dragged into the drama. For a more public example, think about CEOs of large companies. When difficult decisions need to be made, such as layoffs or restructuring, the CEO might delegate the announcement to another executive or a spokesperson. This helps the CEO maintain their image as a caring leader while still making tough business decisions. Law 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. This law is about tapping into people's innate desire to believe in something greater than themselves. By creating a vision or ideology that others can rally around, you can build a devoted following and wield significant influence. Humans have a deep-seated need to believe in something, whether it's a cause, a person, or an idea. When you tap into this need, you can inspire loyalty, devotion, and a sense of community among your followers. This can be incredibly powerful in both personal and professional contexts. A historical example from the book is the story of Charles Manson, who created a cult-like following by exploiting the vulnerabilities of his followers. Manson offered them a sense of belonging, purpose, and a vision of a better future, which led them to follow him with unwavering loyalty. While his intentions and actions were sinister, the methods he used to gather a devoted following were highly effective. In a more positive light, think about movements led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr. King inspired a massive following by tapping into people's desire for justice, equality, and a better future. His vision of a nonviolent struggle for civil rights gave people something to believe in and work towards, creating a powerful and enduring movement. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Create a vision. Develop a clear, compelling vision that resonates with people's values and aspirations. This vision should be something that people can get excited about and feel a part of. Be charismatic. Charisma plays a big role in attracting followers. Be enthusiastic, confident, and passionate about your vision. Your energy will be contagious and draw people to you. Offer a sense of belonging. Create a community where people feel valued and included. This sense of belonging can be a powerful motivator and foster loyalty. Use symbols and rituals. Symbols, slogans, and rituals can help reinforce your vision and create a sense of identity among your followers. Think about the use of logos, chants, or regular meetings to build a cohesive group. Be a role model. Lead by example. Show your commitment to the vision through your actions, and your followers will be more likely to do the same. Address needs and fears. Understand the needs, fears, and desires of your followers. Address these openly and show how your vision provides solutions or comfort. Imagine you're leading a team at work. To create a cult-like following, you might develop a vision for the team that goes beyond just meeting targets. Perhaps you inspire them with a vision of innovation and making a real difference in the industry. You consistently communicate this vision with enthusiasm, recognize and celebrate each team member's contributions, and create team rituals that build a strong sense of community and identity. In personal development, you might create a following around a lifestyle or self-improvement philosophy. For instance, if you're passionate about fitness, you could start a community focused on holistic health and wellness. By sharing your journey, offering valuable tips, and creating a supportive environment, you can inspire others to join you and stay committed to their own health goals. For a broader example, consider movements like those led by Steve Jobs. Jobs didn't just sell products. He sold a vision of what technology could be and how it could change the world. Apple's cult-like following wasn't just about the gadgets, but about the idea of innovation, creativity, and challenging the status quo. Law 28. Enter action with boldness. This law is about the power of being decisive and bold in your actions. When you act with boldness, you inspire confidence, deter opponents, and create momentum. Bold actions can often achieve what cautious, hesitant steps cannot. Boldness is about taking risks and committing fully to your decisions. It's about projecting confidence and being willing to go all in when the situation demands it. People respect and follow those who are decisive and courageous. A historical example from the book is the story of Hernán Cortés, the Spanish conquistador who conquered the Aztec Empire. When Cortés arrived in Mexico, he made a bold move by burning his ships. This act left his men no option but to succeed in their mission, as retreat was not possible. This bold action rallied his men and led to their eventual success. Cortés's boldness demonstrated his commitment and resolve, which inspired his followers and intimidated his enemies. In a modern context, think about successful entrepreneurs like Richard Branson. Branson is known for his bold business ventures and willingness to take significant risks. Whether it's launching a new airline or attempting record-breaking balloon flights, Branson's boldness has helped him build a diverse and successful business empire. His willingness to enter action with boldness has earned him a reputation as a fearless innovator. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Commit fully. When you make a decision, commit to it wholeheartedly. Half-hearted actions lead to half-hearted results. Show confidence in your choices and follow through with determination. Take calculated risks. Boldness doesn't mean recklessness. Assess the risks and potential rewards and make informed decisions. Then take decisive action without hesitation. Project confidence. Confidence is contagious. When you act with confidence, others are more likely to believe in you and support your actions. Even if you feel uncertain, project confidence outwardly. Overcome fear of failure. Fear of failure can paralyze you into inaction. Accept that failure is a possibility, but not acting boldly guarantees mediocrity. Learn from failures and use them as stepping stones to success. Seize opportunities. Opportunities often require swift and decisive action. When you see an opening, don't hesitate. Boldly seize the moment and make the most of it. Imagine you're in a meeting and you have a new idea that you believe could revolutionize your company's product. Instead of hesitantly suggesting it, you present your idea with confidence and enthusiasm. You lay out a clear plan for implementation and address potential concerns with bold solutions. Your boldness can inspire your colleagues to rally behind your idea and take it forward. In personal development, entering action with boldness might mean stepping out of your comfort zone to pursue a new career, hobby, or relationship. For example, if you've always wanted to travel but have been hesitant, boldly booking a trip and embracing the adventure can lead to transformative experiences and personal growth. For a more public example, think about how social movements gain traction. Leaders who enter action with boldness, organizing protests, speaking out against injustices, and demanding change, inspire others to join their cause. Their bold actions create momentum and draw attention to their movement, leading to significant societal changes. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. This law emphasizes the importance of foresight and thorough planning. By thinking ahead and anticipating possible obstacles and outcomes, you can stay ahead of the game and avoid unexpected pitfalls. The idea is to have a clear vision of where you want to go and to develop a detailed plan to get there. This means considering not only your immediate steps, but also the long-term consequences of your actions. By planning all the way to the end, you can maintain control over your destiny and navigate complex situations with confidence. A historical example from the book is the story of Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian statesman who unified Germany in the 19th century. Bismarck was a master strategist who planned meticulously. He anticipated the reactions of other European powers and took steps to neutralize potential threats before they could materialize. His ability to plan all the way to the end allowed him to achieve his ambitious goal of German unification while maintaining peace in Europe for decades. In modern times, think about successful entrepreneurs who build their businesses with a clear long-term vision. They don't just focus on immediate profits, but plan for sustainable growth, market expansion, and adapting to future trends. By planning all the way to the end, they can create businesses that thrive in the long run. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Define your end goal. Start with a clear understanding of what you want to achieve. Your end goal should be specific, measurable, and aligned with your overall vision. Map out the steps. Break down your goal into manageable steps. Consider what actions you need to take, the resources you'll need, and the timeline for achieving each step. Anticipate obstacles. Identify potential challenges and obstacles that could arise along the way. Think about how you can address these issues proactively to avoid being caught off guard. Consider the consequences. Think through the potential consequences of each action you take. How will they impact your long-term goal? Make sure your decisions align with your ultimate objective. Be flexible. While it's important to have a plan, be prepared to adapt and adjust as needed. Flexibility allows you to respond to unexpected changes and stay on course. Imagine you're planning a major project at work. Instead of jumping straight into the execution phase, you take the time to map out every step from start to finish. You consider the resources you'll need, potential risks, and how you'll measure success. By planning all the way to the end, you ensure that the project runs smoothly and that you're prepared for any challenges that arise. In personal development, planning all the way to the end might involve setting a long-term goal, such as achieving a certain level of fitness or mastering a new skill. You break this goal down into smaller milestones, create a schedule, and anticipate potential obstacles like time constraints or lack of motivation. By having a detailed plan, you stay focused and motivated, making steady progress toward your ultimate goal. For a more public example, consider how political leaders plan their campaigns. Successful candidates don't just focus on winning the next election. They plan their entire political career, considering how each step will help them achieve their long-term vision for their country or community. This long-term planning helps them build a strong, sustainable political career. Law 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. This law is all about the art of concealing the hard work and struggles behind your successes. By making your achievements look natural and effortless, you enhance your image and inspire awe and admiration in others. The essence of this law is that people admire and respect those who seem naturally gifted and capable. When your accomplishments appear effortless, you project an image of ease, grace, and mastery. On the other hand, if people see the sweat and toil behind your success, it can diminish the impact of your achievements. A historical example from the book is the story of Louis XIV of France, known as the Sun King. Louis XIV was a master of this law. He made the complexities of ruling a vast and powerful kingdom seem simple and natural. He never let his courtiers see the effort and stress involved in governance. Instead, he projected an image of supreme confidence and effortless control, which reinforced his power and authority. In modern times, think about athletes who make their performances look easy. Take Roger Federer, for example. Federer's style of play is often described as graceful and effortless. Behind the scenes, of course, he trains intensely, but his public image is one of natural talent and ease on the tennis court. This perception adds to his legend and draws admiration from fans and competitors alike. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Master your skills. Invest the time and effort to master your skills so thoroughly that you can perform them with ease. This requires dedication and hard work behind the scenes. Conceal your struggles. Avoid showcasing the difficulties and setbacks you face. Instead, focus on presenting the polished yet successful outcomes of your efforts. Project confidence. Confidence is key to making your accomplishments seem effortless. When you believe in your abilities, others will too. Even if you feel nervous or uncertain, project calmness and assurance. Simplify your actions. Streamline your actions and processes so they appear straightforward and uncomplicated. The more seamless your execution, the more effortless it will appear. Emphasize the end result. Highlight the successful results of your efforts rather than the process. Let your achievements speak for themselves. Imagine you're giving a presentation at work. Instead of sharing every detail of the hard work and preparation that went into it, you deliver your presentation smoothly and confidently, focusing on the key points and outcomes. Your audience will be impressed by your clarity and poise, assuming you've mastered the material effortlessly. In personal relationships, making your accomplishments seem effortless can enhance your appeal. Suppose you're hosting a dinner party. Instead of letting guests see the frantic preparations, you greet them with a calm, composed demeanor and a beautifully set table. Your guests will appreciate the evening more, admiring your apparent ease in creating a wonderful experience. For a more public example, think about performers like musicians or actors. They spend countless hours rehearsing and refining their craft. However, when they step on stage, they make it look natural and effortless, captivating their audience. This perception of ease adds to their allure and success. Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. This law is about maintaining control in any situation by giving people a set of choices, all of which lead to outcomes you desire. By framing the options, you steer decisions and actions in your favor without seeming overbearing or dictatorial. The idea is to guide people to make decisions that align with your goals while making them feel like they have the freedom to choose. It's a subtle form of influence that can be incredibly powerful in various situations, from negotiations to leadership. A historical example from the book is the story of Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian statesman. Bismarck was a master at controlling the options available to other European powers. When negotiating alliances and treaties, he would present terms in such a way that other nations felt they had a choice, but in reality, all options led to outcomes favorable to Prussia. This strategic manipulation allowed him to unify Germany and establish it as a major power in Europe. In modern times, think about marketers who use this technique effectively. For example, a car dealership might offer a range of financing options, making customers feel they have control over the purchasing process. However, all the options are designed to benefit the dealership, whether through higher interest rates, extended loan terms, or additional fees. By controlling the options, the dealership steers the customer toward decisions that maximize their profit. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Present limited choices. When offering options, present a limited number of choices that all align with your desired outcome. Too many choices can lead to decision paralysis, while a few well-curated options can guide decisions effectively. Frame the options favorably. Frame each option in a way that highlights its benefits and aligns with your goals. Make sure that no matter what choice is made, it leads to a positive outcome for you. Use the false choice technique. Sometimes, offering a false choice can be effective. This is when you present two or more options, but all of them lead to a similar outcome. It gives the illusion of choice while maintaining control over the result. Highlight the best option. Subtly guide people toward the option you prefer by emphasizing its advantages. Use persuasive language and highlight how this option meets their needs and preferences. Stay flexible. Be prepared to adapt if the person doesn't choose the option you prefer. Have contingency plans in place to steer the situation back in your favor. In personal relationships, controlling the options can help you navigate conflicts or make plans. Suppose you're deciding on a vacation destination with your partner. Instead of presenting a long list of potential places, you narrow it down to 3 options, all of which you're happy with. You frame each option positively, focusing on the unique experiences each place offers. This way, no matter which destination your partner chooses, you're excited about the trip. For a more public example, think about political leaders during elections. They often present policies in a way that frames the options favorably for them. They might offer 2 paths forward, each with different strategies, but both ultimately lead to their desired policy outcomes. This technique helps them steer public opinion and maintain control over the narrative. Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. This law is about tapping into people's dreams, desires, and fantasies to capture their imagination and influence their actions. By offering an alluring vision of the future, you can inspire loyalty, enthusiasm, and support, often bypassing rational objections and practical concerns. Humans are naturally drawn to the extraordinary, the fantastical, and the ideal. When reality becomes mundane or harsh, fantasies provide an escape and a sense of hope. By understanding and leveraging these fantasies, you can create a powerful connection with others and lead them toward your desired outcomes. A historical example from the book is the story of Rasputin, the Russian mystic who gained immense influence over the Romanov family. Rasputin played to the fantasies and superstitions of the Russian court, presenting himself as a holy man with mystical powers. This aura of mysticism and the promise of divine intervention captivated the Romanovs, particularly Tsarina Alexandra, who believed Rasputin could heal her son. By tapping into their deep-seated fantasies and desires, Rasputin secured a powerful position within the Russian monarchy. In modern times, think about how successful brands and marketers use this law. Apple, for example, doesn't just sell gadgets. It sells a vision of the future where technology seamlessly enhances every aspect of your life. Their marketing campaigns tap into the fantasy of a sleek, connected, and effortlessly efficient lifestyle, making consumers not just want, but crave their products. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Understand their desires. Take the time to understand the dreams, desires, and fantasies of the people you want to influence. What are their hopes and aspirations? What kind of future do they envision for themselves? Craft an alluring vision. Create a compelling vision that aligns with these desires. Make it vivid and appealing, something that people can easily imagine and yearn for. Communicate enthusiastically. Share your vision with enthusiasm and passion. Your excitement can be contagious, making others more likely to buy into your vision. Address practical concerns later. Focus on the dream first and address practical concerns and objections afterward. Once people are emotionally invested in the vision, they'll be more willing to overlook or overcome practical challenges. In personal relationships, understanding and playing to people's fantasies can strengthen connections. Suppose your partner dreams of traveling the world. Instead of focusing on the logistical challenges, talk about the amazing experiences you'll share, the cultures you'll explore, and the memories you'll create together. By tapping into their travel fantasies, you can build excitement and commitment to the idea. For a more public example, consider political leaders who inspire with grand visions of the future. They often use powerful rhetoric and imagery to evoke a sense of national pride, hope, and progress. By presenting a compelling vision of what the future could be, they rally support and inspire action among their followers. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. This law is about finding and exploiting people's weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and hidden desires. Everyone has a thumbscrew, something that can be used to manipulate or influence them. By identifying and leveraging these weaknesses, you can gain power and control in your interactions. The essence of this law is psychological insight. It involves observing, listening, and understanding what makes people tick. Once you discover someone's thumbscrew, you can use it to persuade, manipulate, or outmaneuver them. A historical example from the book is the story of the French Cardinal Richelieu. Richelieu was a master at uncovering the weaknesses of his rivals and using that information to manipulate them. He would gather intelligence on their personal lives, uncover their secrets, and then use this knowledge to exert influence over them. By discovering their thumbscrews, Richelieu maintained his power and neutralized his enemies. In modern times, think about how successful negotiators operate. They often spend a significant amount of time researching their counterparts, understanding their motivations, fears, and desires. This information allows them to craft proposals and strategies that appeal to these hidden factors, making it more likely they will achieve their desired outcomes. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Observe and listen. Pay close attention to what people say and do. Look for clues about their fears, desires, and insecurities. People often reveal more than they realize through their words, body language, and actions. Ask questions. Engage in conversations that help you understand what motivates people. Ask open-ended questions and show genuine interest in their responses. The more you know about their background, goals, and challenges, the better. Identify patterns. Look for patterns in behavior that indicate vulnerabilities. For example, someone who frequently talks about financial concerns might be motivated by money, while someone who seeks constant approval might have a need for validation. Leverage information ethically. Use the information you gather to influence others in a way that aligns with your goals. Be mindful of ethical boundaries. The goal is to persuade and influence, not to harm or exploit. Adapt your approach. Tailor your interactions based on the person's thumbscrew. For example, if you know someone values recognition, highlight how your proposal will enhance their reputation. Imagine you're negotiating a business deal. By understanding that the other party is under pressure to close the deal quickly due to financial constraints, you can use this information to your advantage. You might offer favorable terms with a quick turnaround time, leveraging their urgency to secure a better overall agreement for yourself. In personal relationships, discovering each person's thumbscrew can help you build stronger connections and resolve conflicts more effectively. Suppose your friend values loyalty above all else. By consistently showing your loyalty and support, you deepen your bond and influence with that friend. For a more public example, think about how advertisers use this law. They often create campaigns that tap into common fears, desires, and insecurities. Whether it's a skincare product promising to reverse aging or a security system ensuring peace of mind, advertisers identify and leverage consumers' thumbscrews to drive sales. Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. This law is all about projecting confidence, self-respect, and dignity to command respect and authority from others. By carrying yourself with the bearing of royalty, you signal to others that you are worthy of admiration and deference. The essence of this law is that people tend to treat you the way you treat yourself. If you project an image of self-assurance and nobility, others are more likely to respond with respect and admiration. Conversely, if you act insecure or self-deprecating, people may perceive you as less worthy of their respect. A historical example from the book is the story of Christopher Columbus. When Columbus sought support for his expedition to discover a new route to Asia, he presented himself with grandiosity and conviction. Despite his relatively humble origins, he dressed and acted as if he were already a nobleman. This self-assured demeanor helped him gain the backing of the Spanish monarchy, leading to his historic voyage. In modern times, think about successful leaders and public figures who exude confidence and poise. They command attention and respect, not just through their achievements, but also through the way they present themselves. Oprah Winfrey, for example, carries herself with grace and confidence, which has contributed to her status as a respected media mogul and philanthropist. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Project confidence. Even if you don't feel entirely confident, act as if you do. Stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with conviction. Confidence is often perceived through body language and tone of voice. Dress the part. Your appearance can significantly impact how others perceive you. Dress in a way that makes you feel confident and aligns with the image you want to project. This doesn't mean you have to wear expensive clothes, but rather that you present yourself neatly and appropriately for the occasion. Set high standards. Treat yourself with respect and expect the same from others. Don't tolerate behavior that undermines your dignity. Setting high standards for how you are treated reinforces your self-worth. Be decisive. Kings and queens make decisions with authority. Practice making decisions confidently and standing by them. Indecisiveness can be perceived as weakness. Respect yourself. Self-respect is the foundation of commanding respect from others. Value your time, energy, and contributions. When you respect yourself, others are more likely to do the same. Imagine you're starting a new job and want to establish yourself as a competent and respected team member. From day one, you project confidence by speaking up in meetings, dressing professionally, and contributing thoughtfully. Your colleagues start to see you as a valuable asset and treat you with respect, reinforcing your position within the team. In personal relationships, acting with self-respect can improve how others treat you. Suppose you're in a social group where you feel undervalued. By setting boundaries, asserting your opinions, and carrying yourself with dignity, you can shift the dynamic. Over time, your friends will start to recognize and appreciate your self-assurance, leading to more respectful interactions. For a more public example, consider how artists and performers establish their brands. Beyoncé, for instance, is known for her commanding stage presence and regal persona. She projects an image of confidence and excellence, which elevates her status and garners immense respect from fans and peers alike. Law 35. Master the art of timing. This law is all about understanding the importance of timing in everything you do. Whether it's making a move in business, delivering a message, or taking action in your personal life, the timing can be crucial. By mastering the art of timing, you can maximize your impact and achieve better outcomes. The essence of this law is patience and awareness. It involves knowing when to act and when to wait, when to push forward and when to hold back. Timing can turn a good idea into a great one, or a risky move into a successful venture. A historical example from the book is the story of Joseph Fouché, the French statesman who served under several different regimes during the French Revolution and Napoleonic era. Fouché was a master of timing. He knew when to support a ruler and when to abandon them. His ability to align himself with the right people at the right time allowed him to survive and thrive during one of the most tumultuous periods in French history. In modern times, think about how stock traders operate. Successful traders understand the importance of timing in buying and selling stocks. They study market trends, wait for the right moments, and act decisively. Poor timing can lead to significant losses, while mastering timing can result in substantial gains. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Be patient. Sometimes the best action is to wait. Rushing into decisions can lead to mistakes. Learn to recognize when patience will yield better results. Observe and learn. Pay attention to the patterns and rhythms in your environment. Whether it's the market, your workplace, or social settings, understanding these patterns can help you choose the right moments to act. Choose the right moment. Timing isn't just about waiting, it's about recognizing the right moment to strike. This could mean waiting for the right opportunity or knowing when to seize a fleeting chance. Avoid impulsiveness. Acting on impulse can be risky. Take a moment to consider the timing and potential consequences of your actions. Reflecting on the best timing can lead to more successful outcomes. Adapt to changes. Be flexible and ready to adjust your timing as circumstances change. Sometimes, unexpected events require you to act sooner or delay your plans. Imagine you're launching a new product. Instead of rushing it to market, you carefully study the competition, assess consumer trends, and choose a launch date that maximizes your visibility and potential sales. By mastering the timing, you can ensure a more successful product launch. In personal relationships, timing can be just as important. Suppose you want to have a serious conversation with a friend or partner. Instead of bringing it up during a stressful moment or when they're distracted, you wait for a calm, quiet time when they're more likely to be receptive. This thoughtful timing can lead to a more productive and positive discussion. For a more public example, consider how comedians deliver their jokes. The timing of a punchline is crucial. A joke delivered too early or too late can fall flat, but with perfect timing, it can elicit uproarious laughter. Mastering the timing in comedy is an art that makes the difference between a mediocre and an excellent performance. Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. This law is about maintaining your dignity and power by not showing any desire or frustration over things you cannot have. By doing so, you avoid appearing weak or desperate, and you turn the tables by making those things seem less important. The essence of this law is to master your emotions and reactions. When you show that something or someone doesn't affect you, you maintain control over the situation and over yourself. Ignoring things you cannot have or change demonstrates strength and self-assurance. A historical example from the book is the story of the Spanish courtier Baltasar Gracian, who wrote extensively about the art of worldly wisdom. Gracian advised that one of the best ways to handle slights and setbacks was to pretend they didn't bother you at all. By maintaining an indifferent exterior, you rob your enemies of satisfaction and maintain your own composure. In modern times, think about how influential people handle criticism or rejection. Public figures who shrug off negative comments or failures often maintain their dignity and public respect. For instance, celebrities who don't react to every piece of gossip or criticism often appear more poised and powerful, while those who lash out seem insecure. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Control your reactions. When faced with something you cannot have or control, practice controlling your immediate emotional reactions. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that showing frustration or desire can make you seem weaker. Focus on what you can control. Redirect your energy and attention to areas where you can make a difference. By focusing on your own goals and achievements, you reinforce your sense of power and agency. Practice indifference. Cultivate a sense of indifference towards things that don't go your way. This doesn't mean being apathetic, but rather choosing not to invest emotional energy in things beyond your control. Avoid complaining. Complaining about what you can't have or change only highlights your dissatisfaction and weakness. Instead, project an image of satisfaction and contentment with what you do have. Use silence strategically. Sometimes, the best response is no response. Silence can be a powerful way to show that something doesn't affect you. Imagine you're passed over for a promotion at work. Instead of openly expressing disappointment or resentment, you congratulate the person who got the promotion and continue to excel in your role. By maintaining your composure and focusing on your performance, you show that you are confident and resilient, which can ultimately lead to better opportunities. In personal relationships, if someone rejects you or treats you poorly, responding with indifference can be powerful. For example, if a friend constantly cancels plans, instead of showing frustration or neediness, you could simply stop making plans with them and invest your time in friends who value your company. This shows self-respect and that you won't let others dictate your happiness. For a more public example, consider how political leaders handle public criticism. A politician who reacts angrily to every piece of criticism can appear unstable. In contrast, a leader who addresses valid criticism constructively and ignores baseless attacks demonstrates confidence and control. Law 37. Create compelling spectacles. This law is about using drama, spectacle, and grand gestures to captivate and influence people. By creating memorable and visually striking events or actions, you can draw attention, generate excitement, and leave a lasting impression. The essence of this law is to understand the power of visual impact and emotional engagement. People are naturally drawn to the extraordinary and the dramatic. By harnessing this attraction, you can communicate your message more effectively and create a sense of awe and admiration. A historical example from the book is the story of P.T. Barnum, the famous showman and founder of the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Barnum was a master of creating compelling spectacles. He knew that people were attracted to the bizarre, the grand, and the spectacular. His shows were filled with unusual acts, exotic animals, and elaborate performances that drew huge crowds. Barnum's ability to create compelling spectacles made him a legendary figure in the entertainment industry. In modern times, think about how brands and companies launch new products. Apple, for example, is known for its dramatic product launches. These events are meticulously planned to create a sense of anticipation and excitement. The use of sleek visuals, engaging presentations, and the unveiling of new products in a dramatic fashion captures the attention of both the media and consumers, making each launch a memorable spectacle. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Plan memorable events. Whether it's a business presentation, a social gathering, or a community event, plan it with an eye for drama and visual impact. Use elements like lighting, music, and visuals to create a memorable experience. Use symbolism. Incorporate symbols and imagery that resonate with your audience. This can make your message more powerful and emotionally engaging. Create anticipation. Build up excitement and anticipation before unveiling something new. Teasers, countdowns, and sneak peeks can generate interest and make the final reveal more impactful. Be bold and creative. Don't be afraid to think outside the box and use bold, creative ideas to capture attention. The more unique and unexpected your spectacle, the more memorable it will be. Engage the senses. Create experiences that engage multiple senses. Visuals, sounds, and even scents can make your spectacle more immersive and impactful. Imagine you're organizing a fundraiser for a charity. Instead of a typical event, you plan a themed gala with elaborate decorations, live performances, and interactive exhibits that highlight the charity's work. By creating a compelling spectacle, you not only draw a larger crowd, but also leave a lasting impression on attendees, making them more likely to support the cause. In personal relationships, you can use this law to create memorable moments. Suppose you're planning a proposal or a special anniversary celebration. Instead of a simple dinner, you plan an elaborate surprise that includes elements that are meaningful to your partner. The effort and creativity you put into the spectacle make the occasion unforgettable. For a more public example, consider how social movements use compelling spectacles to draw attention to their causes. Marches, rallies, and demonstrations often include powerful visuals, speeches, and performances that capture the public's imagination and convey their message more effectively. Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. This law emphasizes the importance of blending in with the crowd while maintaining your own beliefs and ideas internally. By conforming outwardly, you avoid unnecessary conflict and scrutiny, giving you the freedom to think and act as you wish behind the scenes. The essence of this law is to protect your true thoughts and intentions from being exposed to those who might not understand or might oppose them. Outward conformity allows you to navigate social dynamics smoothly and avoid standing out in ways that could attract negative attention or resistance. A historical example from the book is the story of Galileo Galilei. Galileo's heliocentric theory, which posited that the Earth revolves around the sun, was controversial and opposed by the Catholic Church. To avoid persecution, Galileo publicly recanted his views while privately continuing his scientific work. By outwardly conforming to the Church's demands, he protected himself from severe punishment and continued his research in secret. In modern times, consider how employees often navigate corporate environments. A savvy employee might privately disagree with certain company policies, but publicly support them to maintain good relations with management and colleagues. This outward conformity helps them avoid conflict and position themselves for advancement, all while holding on to their own beliefs and ideas. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Observe social norms. Pay attention to the behaviors, attitudes, and norms of the groups you are part of. Understanding these unwritten rules helps you blend in and avoid standing out in negative ways. Conform, outwardly. Behave in a way that aligns with the expectations of those around you. This doesn't mean abandoning your beliefs, but rather presenting yourself in a manner that is socially acceptable. Keep your thoughts private. Share your true thoughts and ideas only with those you trust completely. Protect your inner beliefs from being exposed to those who might not understand or might oppose them. Avoid unnecessary conflict. By conforming outwardly, you reduce the risk of unnecessary conflict and maintain harmonious relationships. This allows you to pursue your goals without facing undue resistance. Be strategic in revealing your ideas. When you do choose to share your true thoughts, do so strategically and with consideration of the potential impact. Find the right time, place, and audience for revealing your ideas. Imagine you're working in a company with a very conservative corporate culture, but you have innovative ideas that might be seen as radical. Instead of pushing your ideas forcefully, you first establish yourself as a reliable and conforming team member. Over time, you build trust and credibility. Then, you gradually introduce your ideas in a way that aligns with the company's values and culture, increasing the chances of acceptance and implementation. In personal relationships, this law can help you maintain harmony. Suppose you have different political or religious views from your family. Instead of engaging in heated debates, you choose to keep your views private and avoid contentious topics during family gatherings. This approach helps maintain peaceful relationships and prevents unnecessary arguments. For a more public example, consider how public figures often navigate controversial issues. They might hold strong personal beliefs, but choose to present themselves in a way that is more palatable to the general public. This outward conformity helps them maintain their public image and avoid alienating their audience. Law 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. This law is about creating confusion and chaos to distract and manipulate others. When people are confused and unsure, they are more likely to make mistakes and be vulnerable to manipulation. By stirring up waters, You create an environment where you can control the narrative and gain an advantage. The essence of this law is to understand that calm and clarity allow people to think and act effectively. By disrupting this clarity, you can throw them off balance and gain the upper hand. This can be particularly useful in negotiations, conflicts, or competitive situations. A historical example from the book is the story of General Sun Bin of ancient China. Sun Bin used this tactic against his rival, Pang Zhuan. By spreading false information and creating confusion within Pang Zhuan's army, Sun Bin led them into an ambush. The chaos and disorder caused by the misinformation weakened Pang Zhuan's forces, leading to Sun Bin's victory. In modern times, think about how political campaigns often use this strategy. Candidates might release controversial statements or highlight scandals to create confusion and distract from their own shortcomings or controversial issues. This tactic can shift the focus and create a chaotic environment where voters are less likely to scrutinize each candidate thoroughly. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Create distractions. When you want to divert attention or cause confusion, create distractions that shift focus away from critical issues. This can be useful in negotiations or competitive situations. Spread misinformation carefully. Use misinformation strategically to create doubt and confusion among your opponents. However, be cautious with this tactic, as it can backfire if discovered. Use drama and emotion. Stirring up emotions can cloud judgment. Use dramatic or emotional statements to evoke strong reactions and disrupt clear thinking. Introduce uncertainty. In situations where your opponents are confident, introduce elements of uncertainty. This can make them second-guess their decisions and weaken their position. Stay calm yourself. While stirring up chaos for others, remain calm and collected. Your composure will give you a strategic advantage and help you navigate the confusion effectively. Imagine you're in a competitive job interview process. You could subtly spread rumors about changes in the industry or company that could cause other candidates to second-guess their approach or responses. While they are distracted or uncertain, you can present yourself with confidence and clarity, standing out as the best candidate. In personal relationships, this law can help you navigate conflicts. Suppose you're in a disagreement with a friend. By bringing up unrelated but emotionally charged issues, you can distract from the main argument and create confusion. This might lead your friend to lose focus on the original issue, giving you a better position to resolve the conflict in your favor. For a more public example, consider how businesses might use this strategy during a crisis. If a company is facing a scandal, they might release positive news or create a media distraction to divert attention from the negative issue. This tactic can help manage public perception and reduce the impact of the scandal. Law 40. Despise the free lunch. This law emphasizes the value of paying for what you get and being wary of anything offered for free. When you pay for something, you retain control and avoid hidden obligations. Free offers often come with strings attached, and accepting them can put you in a position of weakness. The essence of this law is to understand that nothing in life is truly free. There are always costs, whether monetary, emotional, or strategic. By despising the free lunch, you protect your independence and maintain your power. A historical example from the book is the story of the Renaissance banker Cosimo de' Medici. Cosimo was known for his generosity, but he also understood the power dynamics of giving and receiving. He would often offer gifts to those he wanted to influence, knowing that these gifts created a sense of obligation. However, he was careful about what he accepted, understanding that accepting gifts could put him in a subordinate position. In modern times, think about how free services often work. Social media platforms, for example, are free to use, but users pay with their data and privacy. The platform gains valuable information that it can monetize, while users often don't fully understand the cost of what they are giving up. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Recognize the hidden costs. Whenever you are offered something for free, consider what the hidden costs might be. Ask yourself what the giver might want in return and whether accepting it could compromise your independence. Pay your own way. Whenever possible, pay for what you receive. This keeps you in control and prevents others from gaining leverage over you. Be generous. Strategically, when you give something for free, understand that it creates a sense of obligation. Use this to your advantage, but be ethical and fair in your dealings. Value quality. Investing in quality products and services often pays off in the long run. Free options might save you money up front, but can cost more in terms of quality and reliability. Maintain independence. By paying your own way, you maintain your independence and prevent others from gaining undue influence over you. Imagine you're at a networking event and someone offers to introduce you to a key contact for free. While it might seem like a generous offer, consider the potential strings attached. They might expect a favor in return or could use the introduction to gain leverage over you. Instead, seek to build your network independently, maintaining control over your connections. In personal relationships, this law can also be useful. Suppose a friend offers you ongoing help for free. While it's kind, relying too much on their generosity could create an imbalance in the relationship. By reciprocating and ensuring there's a fair exchange, you maintain equality and mutual respect. For a more public example, think about how companies offer free trials or samples. These offers are designed to hook you in, knowing that once you've tried the product, you're more likely to purchase it. While there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of free trials, being aware of the strategy behind them can help you make more informed decisions. Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. This law is about the challenges and pitfalls of succeeding someone who has been highly successful or charismatic. Following in the footsteps of a great leader or influential figure can be daunting because people will constantly compare you to your predecessor. Instead of trying to match their legacy, create your own path and establish your own identity. The essence of this law is to understand that living in the shadow of a great predecessor can limit your potential and make it harder to gain respect and recognition. By differentiating yourself and bringing something new to the table, you can build your own legacy and command respect in your own right. A historical example from the book is the story of Alexander the Great and his successors. After Alexander's death, his generals, the Diadochi, struggled to maintain control over his vast empire. None of them could match Alexander's charisma and military genius, leading to fragmentation and conflict. Instead of trying to replicate Alexander's achievements, his successors would have been wiser to establish their own strategies and legacies. In modern times, think about how CEOs who follow legendary founders face immense pressure. Steve Ballmer, who succeeded Bill Gates as CEO of Microsoft, faced constant comparisons and criticism. It wasn't until Satya Nadella took over and implemented his own vision, focusing on cloud computing and other innovations, that Microsoft regained its dominant position and renewed its growth. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Acknowledge the past, but focus on the future. Recognize and respect the achievements of your predecessor, but shift the focus to your own vision and goals. Highlight how you plan to build on their success while introducing new ideas and improvements. Establish your own identity. Differentiate yourself by showcasing your unique strengths and perspectives. Whether it's through new initiatives, a different leadership style, or innovative strategies, make it clear that you are your own person. Set realistic expectations. Manage expectations by being honest about the challenges of succeeding a great figure. Communicate your plans for gradual improvements and long-term goals rather than promising immediate miracles. Innovate and improve. Focus on areas where you can make a tangible impact. Introduce new technologies, processes, or approaches that demonstrate your ability to lead and innovate. Build alliances. Garner support from key stakeholders by building strong relationships and showing your commitment to the organization's success. Allies can help reinforce your leadership and mitigate comparisons to your predecessor. Imagine you're taking over a project from a highly respected colleague. Instead of trying to replicate their approach, you analyze the project's current state and identify areas for improvement. You introduce new tools or methods that reflect your expertise, gradually gaining the team's confidence and respect for your unique contributions. In personal relationships, this law can also be useful. Suppose you're dating someone who had a significant past relationship. Instead of feeling pressured to compete with their ex, focus on building a relationship based on your unique connection and shared experiences. Celebrate what makes your relationship special rather than trying to live up to the past. For a more public example, consider political leaders who follow iconic figures. Barack Obama, for instance, faced the challenge of succeeding George W. Bush during a tumultuous time. Obama didn't try to mimic Bush's policies. Instead, he introduced his own vision of change and hope, which resonated with many and helped establish his distinct legacy. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. This law is about addressing problems at their source by targeting the leader or key influencer who is causing trouble or opposition. By removing or neutralizing this central figure, you can disrupt the cohesion and effectiveness of the group they lead, causing the remaining members to disperse or become ineffective. The essence of this law is to understand the power dynamics within any group. Every group has a leader or influential figure who holds it together. If you can identify and neutralize this person, the group will often lose its direction and unity, making it easier for you to achieve your objectives. A historical example from the book is the story of the assassination of the French revolutionary leader Jean-Paul Marat. Marat was a powerful and influential figure during the French Revolution, known for his radical ideas and ability to mobilize the masses. His assassination by Charlotte Corday significantly weakened the radical faction he led, leading to internal strife and diminished influence. In modern times, consider how companies deal with competition. If a rival company has a particularly influential CEO or lead innovator driving their success, a well-timed acquisition offer or strategic hire could weaken the competitor's position. By striking at the shepherd, you can cause the sheep, employees, customers, or followers to scatter. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Identify key influencers. In any group or organization, identify the key individuals who hold significant influence. These are the people whose actions and opinions shape the direction and morale of the group. Analyze their influence. Understand how these influencers operate and what makes them effective. This can help you develop strategies to neutralize their influence. Target the source. Once you've identified the key influencer, focus your efforts on neutralizing their influence. This could mean addressing their behavior directly, undermining their credibility, or removing them from their position of power. Maintain your integrity. While targeting key influencers, it's important to maintain your integrity and ethical standards. Ensure that your actions are justifiable and that you're not engaging in malicious or unethical behavior. Strengthen your position. After neutralizing the key influencer, take steps to strengthen your own position. Build alliances, communicate your vision clearly, and provide support to those who may feel destabilized by the change. Imagine you're working in a team where one member is consistently undermining your efforts and creating discord. Instead of addressing each incident individually, you focus on understanding why this person holds so much influence and how you can neutralize it. Perhaps you address the issue with your manager, highlighting how this person's behavior is affecting the team's productivity. By targeting the root of the problem, you can restore harmony and effectiveness to the team. In personal relationships, this law can help you navigate social dynamics. Suppose there's a group where one person consistently stirs up trouble or creates division. By addressing the behavior of this central figure directly, you can often resolve the underlying issues and improve the overall group dynamic. For a more public example, think about how social movements or organizations handle internal dissent. If a particular leader or figurehead is causing division or straying from the group's goals, addressing their behavior or leadership can help realign the group and maintain its focus and unity. Law 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. This law is about winning people over by appealing to their emotions and intellect. Rather than using coercion or force, you aim to create a deep connection with others that fosters loyalty, trust, and a willingness to follow your lead. The essence of this law is to understand that people are driven by both their emotions and their rational thoughts. By addressing both, you can influence their behavior and decisions more effectively. This approach helps build lasting relationships and a loyal following. A historical example from the book is the story of the Emperor Augustus of Rome. Augustus was a master at working on the hearts and minds of his subjects. He implemented policies that improved the quality of life for the Roman people, such as public works and social reforms, which endeared him to the masses. At the same time, he projected an image of a wise and benevolent ruler, which gained him their trust and respect. By appealing to both their emotions and their rational interests, he secured his power and maintained stability in the empire. In modern times, think about successful leaders who inspire their teams. Leaders who connect emotionally with their team members and communicate a clear, rational vision for the future tend to be more effective. They create a sense of purpose and belonging that motivates people to go above and beyond. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Show genuine interest. Take the time to understand the needs, desires, and concerns of the people you want to influence. Show that you genuinely care about their well-being. Communicate clearly. Share your vision, goals, and plans in a way that resonates with both the emotions and intellect of your audience. Use stories, examples, and data to make your points compelling. Build trust. Consistency, honesty, and reliability are key to building trust. Follow through on your promises and be transparent in your actions. Empathize. Put yourself in others' shoes and try to understand their perspectives. Acknowledge their feelings and show empathy in your interactions. Inspire and motivate. Use positive reinforcement, encouragement, and recognition to inspire and motivate others. Highlight their achievements and show appreciation for their efforts. Imagine you're leading a team at work and you want to introduce a new project. Instead of simply assigning tasks, you explain the vision behind the project and how it will benefit both the team and the company. You share success stories from similar projects, showing the potential impact. You also take the time to listen to your team's concerns and ideas, addressing them thoughtfully. By doing this, you work on their hearts and minds, creating a motivated and engaged team. In personal relationships, this law can help strengthen connections. Suppose a friend is going through a tough time. Instead of offering generic advice, you listen carefully, show empathy, and share your own experiences or stories that might resonate with them. This approach helps them feel understood and supported, deepening your bond. For a more public example, consider how brands create loyalty among their customers. Companies like Apple and Nike don't just sell products, they sell a lifestyle and a set of values. They connect emotionally with their customers through powerful storytelling and align their products with the aspirations and identities of their audience. This connection builds strong brand loyalty. Law 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. This law is about using the strategy of mirroring to unsettle and confuse your opponents. By reflecting their actions, behaviors, or attitudes back at them, you can disarm them, provoke reactions, and gain the upper hand. The essence of this law is psychological manipulation. When you mirror someone's behavior, it can have several effects. It can make them feel understood and comfortable, but it can also frustrate and unnerve them if done strategically. The key is to use mirroring to disrupt their expectations and control the interaction. A historical example from the book is the story of the Duke of Marlborough during the War of the Spanish Succession. Marlborough was a master of the mirror effect in warfare. He would mimic the movements and strategies of his opponents, leading them to believe he was predictable and easy to anticipate. However, at the last moment, he would change tactics, catching them off guard and securing victory. In modern times, think about how negotiators use mirroring techniques. By subtly mimicking the body language, tone, and pace of their counterparts, skilled negotiators can build rapport and create a sense of harmony. This makes the other party more likely to agree to their terms. Alternatively, by mirroring and then abruptly changing tactics, they can unsettle their counterparts and gain a strategic advantage. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Build rapport. Use mirroring to build rapport and trust. Reflecting someone's body language, tone, and pace can make them feel understood and more comfortable around you. Disrupt expectations. In situations where you want to gain an advantage, use mirroring to lull your opponent into a false sense of security. Then, change tactics abruptly to catch them off guard. Neutralize aggression. If someone is aggressive or confrontational, Mirroring their behavior back at them can sometimes neutralize their aggression. It can make them realize how they're acting and potentially diffuse the situation. Create confusion. In competitive situations, mirroring your opponent's strategies can confuse and frustrate them. By doing exactly what they do, you can make it difficult for them to anticipate your next move. Enhance persuasion. In negotiations or discussions, use subtle mirroring to enhance your persuasive efforts. People are more likely to be persuaded by those who they feel are like them. Imagine you're in a business negotiation and the other party is using aggressive tactics. By mirroring their intensity and then suddenly switching to a calm and reasoned approach, you can disarm their aggression and steer the negotiation in a more favorable direction. This sudden shift can make them rethink their strategy and become more receptive to your terms. In personal relationships, mirroring can help you build stronger connections. Suppose you're having a difficult conversation with a friend. By matching their tone and body language, you can create a sense of empathy and understanding. This can make them feel heard and valued, leading to a more productive and positive conversation. For a more public example, consider how lawyers use mirroring in court. By mimicking the arguments and strategies of the opposing counsel and then highlighting their flaws, lawyers can undermine the credibility of the other side and strengthen their own case. This tactic can sway the jury and influence the outcome of the trial. Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. This law is about the delicate balance between advocating for change and maintaining stability. While it's important to innovate and adapt, doing too much too quickly can create resistance and backlash. Successful change agents understand the need to introduce reforms gradually and thoughtfully. The essence of this law is to promote progress without overwhelming people. Radical and sudden changes can provoke fear and opposition, while gradual and steady reforms are more likely to be accepted and integrated into the existing system. A historical example from the book is the story of Tsar Peter the Great of Russia. Peter modernized Russia by introducing Western technologies, industries, and administrative practices. However, he understood the resistance he might face from the conservative Russian nobility and common people. To avoid backlash, he implemented his reforms incrementally, giving people time to adapt and accept the changes. In modern times, think about how successful companies implement changes. When a company decides to overhaul its processes or systems, it often does so in phases. This allows employees to adjust to each stage of the change, reducing resistance and increasing the likelihood of successful implementation. For instance, a tech company might roll out a new software platform in stages, training employees gradually and integrating feedback along the way. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Advocate for change. Clearly communicate the need for change and the benefits it will bring. Create a compelling vision that inspires and motivates people. Implement gradually. Break down the changes into manageable steps. Implement reforms incrementally to allow people to adapt and integrate new practices smoothly. Gather feedback. Continuously gather feedback from those affected by the changes. Use this feedback to adjust and refine your approach, ensuring that the reforms are effective and well received. Build consensus. Engage key stakeholders and build a coalition of support for the changes. Involving influential figures can help legitimize the reforms and reduce resistance. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge and celebrate milestones along the way. This reinforces the positive aspects of the change and keeps people motivated and engaged. In personal relationships, gradual change can also be effective. Suppose you want to encourage healthier eating habits in your family. Instead of overhauling the entire diet overnight, you start by introducing 1 or 2 healthy meals a week. As your family adjusts and enjoys these new meals, you gradually increase the frequency and variety of healthy options. For a more public example, consider how governments introduce policy changes. Major reforms, such as healthcare or education, are often implemented over several years. This phased approach allows time for the necessary infrastructure to be built, for public opinion to be swayed, and for potential issues to be addressed along the way. Law 46. Never appear too perfect. This law is about the dangers of appearing flawless and the importance of maintaining an image of modesty and approachability. Perfection can provoke envy, suspicion, and resentment in others. By showing occasional weaknesses or making minor mistakes, you make yourself more relatable and human. The essence of this law is to understand that human nature often harbors envy and resentment towards those who seem to have it all. Displaying some flaws can disarm these negative emotions and help you build better relationships and alliances. A historical example from the book is the story of Julius Caesar. Caesar was a master of this law. Despite his many successes and vast power, he often downplayed his achievements and emphasized his vulnerabilities. This made him more approachable and won him the loyalty of his soldiers and the Roman populace. By appearing more human, he mitigated envy and strengthened his support base. In modern times, think about how successful leaders and public figures manage their image. Many of them share personal stories of struggle, failure, or vulnerability to connect with their audience. This helps them appear more relatable and garners sympathy and support. For instance, during the 2008 financial crisis, Warren Buffett admitted that he made mistakes in his investments. This humility and transparency helped maintain his reputation as a wise and relatable investor. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Acknowledge mistakes. Don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong or when you've made a mistake. This shows humility and makes you more relatable. Share personal stories. Share stories of your struggles, failures, or challenges. This helps others see you as a real person with similar experiences. Avoid boasting. While it's important to highlight your achievements, avoid coming across as boastful or arrogant. Let your actions speak for themselves and allow others to recognize your accomplishments. Show vulnerability. Express your emotions and vulnerabilities when appropriate. This can build deeper connections and trust with others. Be approachable. Maintain a friendly and approachable demeanor. Encourage others to share their ideas and opinions and listen actively. Imagine you're a manager at work who has just completed a successful project. Instead of taking all the credit and emphasizing your leadership, you share the success with your team and acknowledge the challenges you faced along the way. You talk about the moments of doubt and the collaborative effort that led to the project's success. This approach not only builds your team's morale, but also makes you more relatable and respected as a leader. In personal relationships, this law can help strengthen bonds. Suppose you're known for being highly competent and successful. Sharing moments of vulnerability, such as talking about a recent failure or a personal struggle, can help others feel closer to you and reduce any feelings of envy or resentment. For a more public example, consider how celebrities use social media. Many share not just their glamorous moments, but also their everyday struggles, fears, and mistakes. This balanced portrayal helps them maintain a loyal fan base that sees them as real, relatable people. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. This law is about the importance of recognizing when to stop once you've achieved your goal. Overreaching can lead to unnecessary risks and potential downfall. Knowing when to stop ensures that you can enjoy your success and avoid turning victory into defeat. The essence of this law is to understand that continued push for more can often backfire. Success can create a sense of invincibility, leading to overconfidence and the temptation to push further than necessary. By learning to stop at the right moment, you protect your achievements and maintain stability. A historical example from the book is the story of King Pyrrhus of Epirus. Pyrrhus achieved several victories against the Romans, but his losses were so great that they eventually led to his downfall. The term Pyrrhic victory comes from his story, highlighting the dangers of pursuing victory at all costs. Pyrrhus failed to stop at the right time, leading to his ultimate defeat. In modern times, think about successful entrepreneurs who know when to exit a venture. Consider Jeff Bezos stepping down as CEO of Amazon. After leading the company to immense success, Bezos decided to step down at a high point, ensuring his legacy and allowing new leadership to take over. By recognizing the right time to stop, he maintained control over his narrative and preserved his achievements. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Set clear goals. Define your goals clearly and know what success looks like. Having a clear endpoint helps you recognize when you've achieved your objective. Recognize the signs of overreach. Pay attention to signs that you might be overreaching, such as increasing resistance, diminishing returns, or escalating risks. Celebrate your success. Take the time to celebrate and appreciate your achievements. This helps you mentally acknowledge that you've reached your goal. Evaluate before proceeding. Before deciding to push further, evaluate the potential risks and rewards. Consider whether the additional effort is truly necessary and beneficial. Learn to be content. Practice contentment and satisfaction with what you've achieved. Understand that sometimes the best move is to enjoy your success and maintain your position. Imagine you're leading a sales team that has just exceeded its quarterly targets. Instead of immediately setting even higher targets for the next quarter, you take the time to celebrate the success with your team. You acknowledge their hard work and allow them to enjoy the achievement. This approach not only boosts morale, but also helps prevent burnout and maintains a positive team dynamic. In personal relationships, this law can help you maintain balance. Suppose you're working on improving your fitness and you've achieved your goal weight. Instead of pushing for more extreme goals, you focus on maintaining your current fitness level and enjoying your healthier lifestyle. This approach helps you avoid potential health risks associated with overtraining and ensures long-term well-being. For a more public example, consider political leaders who achieve a significant victory. A leader who knows when to stop, such as securing a major policy change or winning an election, will consolidate their gains and work on maintaining stability, rather than immediately pushing for more radical changes that could provoke backlash. Law 48. Assume formlessness. This final law is about the power of adaptability and flexibility. By remaining formless and unpredictable, you can avoid being targeted, outmaneuver your opponents, and continuously adapt to changing circumstances. Formlessness allows you to move freely and respond to challenges without being constrained by a rigid identity or strategy. The essence of this law is to avoid being pinned down or predictable. When you are formless, you are elusive and difficult to attack. This allows you to stay ahead of your opponents and remain in control, regardless of the situation. A historical example from the book is the story of the ancient Chinese general Sun Tzu, who wrote The Art of War. Sun Tzu emphasized the importance of flexibility and adaptability in warfare. He taught that a successful warrior is like water, taking the shape of whatever container it is in and flowing around obstacles. This philosophy of formlessness allowed Sun Tzu's armies to outmaneuver and defeat more rigid and predictable foes. In modern times, think about successful entrepreneurs who continually reinvent themselves and their businesses. Elon Musk, for example, has successfully transitioned between various industries, from online payments with PayPal to electric vehicles with Tesla, space exploration with SpaceX, and more. His ability to adapt and remain formless has allowed him to thrive in diverse fields and stay ahead of the competition. Here's how you can apply this law in a practical and friendly way. Stay adaptable. Be willing to change your plans and strategies as needed. Flexibility allows you to respond effectively to new challenges and opportunities. Avoid rigid identities. Don't define yourself too narrowly. Embrace a wide range of interests and skills and be open to new experiences. This helps you remain unpredictable and versatile. Embrace change. View change as an opportunity rather than a threat. By embracing change, you can continuously grow and improve. Be unpredictable. Keep others guessing about your next move. Avoid becoming too predictable in your actions and decisions. Focus on the present. Instead of being overly attached to past successes or future plans, focus on the present moment and what needs to be done now. Imagine you're a manager at work who needs to lead a team through a major transition. Instead of sticking to a rigid plan, you adopt a flexible approach. You listen to your team's feedback, adjust strategies as needed, and remain open to new ideas. This adaptability helps your team navigate the transition smoothly and effectively. In personal relationships, assuming formlessness can help you handle conflicts and changes more effectively. Suppose you're in a relationship where your partner's needs and circumstances are changing. Instead of resisting the changes or clinging to past dynamics, you adapt and find new ways to support each other. This flexibility strengthens your relationship and helps you grow together. For a more public example, consider how companies like Netflix have evolved. Netflix started as a DVD rental service, but quickly adapted to the rise of streaming technology. By remaining flexible and formless, Netflix was able to stay ahead of the curve and become a dominant player in the entertainment industry. Embrace the power of the 48 Laws of Power. Congratulations on reaching the end of the 48 Laws of Power. By now, you have delved deep into the strategies and philosophies that have guided some of history's most influential figures. These laws are not just historical anecdotes, but timeless principles that you can apply in your everyday life to navigate complex social dynamics, achieve your goals, and enhance your influence. A guide for what's next. As you move forward, consider how you can integrate these laws into your daily interactions and long-term strategies. Here are some steps to help you continue your journey. 1. Reflect and analyze. Reflect on each law and how it resonates with your personal experiences and professional environment. Analyze situations where you can apply these principles to gain a strategic advantage or improve your relationships. 2. Practice and adapt. Begin to consciously practice the laws in small, everyday scenarios. Adapt them to fit your unique circumstances and personality. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate or harm others, but to navigate social dynamics intelligently and ethically. 3. Stay mindful and flexible. Stay mindful of your actions and the reactions they elicit from others. Flexibility and adaptability are crucial. As you encounter new challenges, refer back to these laws for guidance and adjust your strategies accordingly. 4. Balance and integrity. Balance is key. Use these laws to enhance your influence while maintaining your integrity and ethical standards. Aim for a harmonious approach that benefits not only you, but also those around you. Final thoughts from the book. In the words of Robert Greene, power is a game. It is a social and strategic endeavor that requires careful thought, patience, and adaptability. By mastering the art of power, you can navigate the complexities of human interactions more effectively and achieve your aspirations with greater ease. Suggestions for further growth. 1. Continue learning. Explore other works by Robert Greene, such as The Art of Seduction, The 33 Strategies of War, and Mastery, to deepen your understanding of human behavior and strategic thinking. 2. Join a community. Engage with communities or groups interested in personal development and strategic thinking. Sharing insights and experiences can enhance your learning and application of these principles. 3. Seek mentorship. Find mentors or role models who exemplify the principles of power you admire. Learning from their experiences can provide valuable insights and guidance. 4. Self-reflection. Regularly set aside time for self-reflection. Assess your progress, identify areas for improvement, and celebrate your successes. By embracing the 48 Laws of Power, you are not just learning strategies for success. You are embarking on a journey of personal growth and empowerment. Use these laws wisely, and they will serve you well in your quest for influence and achievement. Thank you for listening, and best of luck on your journey to mastering the art of power.